Do or die.
Yeah.
Today we're doing our episode on, I guess, evolution of the gun.
The pew pew.
The pew pew. And I was really interested in doing this one. Because, I mean, we all like guns. All of us in here owns guns. I love them. I grew up with them.
My baby.
So, Today we're doing our episode. So, guess we'll dive in and kind of get a little history on it.
Well, no, we got to give extra content for our live viewers. We're not even recording the actual.
Oh, y'all don't want to record the actual show yet. Gotcha.
I mean, we can, but
see, y'all
No.
got me. Y'all got me last week because that's what I thought we were doing, and then we were doing the show. Yeah, screwed me all up.
I mean, I don't have a problem with recording this. It's just that it's just gonna be. What ends up happening is the episode gets so long that he has to edit out most of the content because they can only post 2 hours to Spotify max.
I think it's max 2 hours.
Yeah.
No, it's 4.
Is it 4?
It's 4.
Well, why did you edit the fuck out the last one we did, bro? Cut all the good shit out.
Yeah, you did cut. You see, that's
it's 3. It's
you
3.
cut all of our good shit out.
Which one?
All of them.
The randomness, the QE randomness. We had 3 hours of good shit, and you'd cut it all out and posted the other crap.
Hey, you know what?
Oh.
Shut your pie hole.
Shut your goddamn pie hole.
But that's what we're doing today. If y'all want to stick around for that.
Let's talk. Okay, let's talk about current events. What's going on? Well,
Oh man.
the Virginia gun things. I mean, today is the development of pew pew. So
Basically, I heard in Virginia, the the governor of Virginia? Am I right?
yeah,
The governor, he wants to pretty much take everybody's guns, and they're starting to have like a little, not an uprising. I wouldn't call it an uprising, but people are like sheriffs are saying they're not gonna
click on multi-stream so we can see the comments.
are not gonna go through with this. They're not gonna go door to door grabbing people's guns. And it's almost like they're using Virginia as a starting point as what would happen.
Right.
And then now Virginia's kind of like the test state, which man, it doesn't look like it's going good for them.
No. That's definitely not. And all it's going to take is for one event to pop off, and you got all the other states right there around Virginia. They're going to be like,
No.
that ain't going to fucking happen.
No.
We're coming to get you.
No,
Yeah.
and that's what I've always said, man. Once you start,
Well, there's counties in Virginia that are declaring Second Amendment sanctuaries.
they have the Second Amendment sanctuaries, and that was led by the sheriffs and the law enforcement in that town. But now I don't know if they're threatening anymore. I think they're actually doing it, or already did it. Brought in the National Guard.
Well, okay, that's Rob. Your commander in chief is the president, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so in the National Guard, wouldn't it be the governor of that state?
I don't know. I was never in the National Guard.
Well, I'm assuming.
I do know that National Guard, they swear. I want to say that they had a different like a different oath they had to take than we did at MEPS. I don't think they
I
were
want to say it's
sworn.
for the state.
Yeah, I don't think.
So
they were
I would
sworn
I would
like
assume
we
it
were.
would be the governor. So if the National Guard or if the state's National Guard was to stand down, would they all be charged with treason because that's an infringement of their constitutional rights, right?
I don't know, man. I want to. Hey, if you're on my Facebook and you are in the National Guard, we want to know about the oath you took. Like, when you swore in, what were you swearing in to do exactly? We want to know that because if the National Guard is more or less there to uphold the agenda or laws of that state, then I guess they're not going to give a crap about the Constitution of the United States. Just what their state says.
Right. And also, I mean, if they can do it in Virginia, then they can do it in any state, And that's one thing we got to remember.
They're not going to do it down here.
They can try.
You want to know what states are? I'm going to say this from research and looking on Facebook and talking with other people just in conversation. You know what states are really never going to give over their guns? Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, like the whole middle part of the U.S. Like you're not going to
Arizona, Oklahoma.
Yeah, like that whole middle part.
Yeah.
The East and West, whatever, but you're not going to
You'll
get them from
get
over
shot in any of those states just for even uttering. Like, come knock on the door and say, "I'm here to confiscate your gun."
But yet,
I'll give it to you one bullet at a time.
But yet, that doesn't mean that they can't make it hard as shit to get a gun. It make it hard as shit to buy ammunition.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
that's the ammunition thing is they've already tried attacking that before, and it didn't work out too well for them. I think they just drove gun sales and ammunition sales through the roof whenever they,
Right.
we're going to ban ammunition sales. And I know people who can load ammunition. I can load ammunition.
Right? Yeah, you can load your own.
Yeah.
But
It ain't hard.
But that's what I've always said about having
I don't know
any
what that was.
having anything, any kind of laws coming in, any kind of bans or anything like that. Once you let them put that foot in the doorway,
Oh, yeah.
that means that's it. You've done lost.
Yeah,
You've
I mean,
done lost a
the
legal
way
battle.
the way that it works, man, is once an unconstitutional law is made and enforced, unfortunately, the person that it is enforced upon has to take that to court, to the Supreme Court, and say, "This is unconstitutional. I should not have been treated this way." And the court has to say, "Yes, it was unconstitutional." And then basically everything that has been affected by that law is stopped at that point, and the law becomes null. But until it gets declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, they can do whatever they want.
And look at all that time, from the time that
Exactly.
it happens to the time that all the damage has already been done.
Exactly, and there's you can't roll that back and reverse it.
No,
So,
and you can't go, well, you know what? Now I'm going to sue the Supreme Court because I had to go through all this crap. You can't do that.
yeah.
Nobody is going to suffer but you.
Well, I mean, the people.
Well, and the thing about the liberals that are complaining about a gun issue, it's not a gun issue, it's a heart issue. I mean, because you look at history, okay, well, modern day times, today, how many murders are in prison today? Do they have guns?
Murders in prison?
Inside prisons.
Well, they don't have guns in prison.
So how are they committing murder?
They're not.
With
Yes,
other
they
shit.
are.
Well, I mean, not with
Shanks
guns.
and shit.
Not with guns.
I'm gonna make a
again,
shank out of a toothbrush.
It's not a gun issue.
Oh, yeah, people will always kill other people.
And I'm going to mention this again, so I do apologize, but when we actually start recording for the actual podcast, for our live viewers, the very first murder that ever took place was with a rock.
Yeah.
When Cain killed Abel.
Yeah,
It was a rock.
allegedly.
It's not a gun issue.
And up until the invention of the gun, massive amounts of people were killed before then. So it's and you're right, and that's like what was it in UK? UK guns are pretty much banned.
Knives are banned.
Oh,
Now they are, but there was people were stabbing the shit out of each other, right?
yeah. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but we did ask a question at the beginning of the show, and I want to give a shout out to John, and I hope I'm saying your name.
I'll rock you to death, son.
I really hope I'm saying your name correctly. John Dumatru is a guy that recently followed us on Facebook. A guy I've interacted with. Great guy from California, Republican. Good points of view. He said, "I blank name do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic." Oh,
That's for the National Guard, or is
yes,
that for?
it's for everything. Officers of the National Guard of the various states, however, take an additional oath. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state, Commonwealth, district, or territory against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And you know the rest.
Yeah. So when I was at MEPS many years ago, the swearing in thing, I wanted to say, I remembered we all swore in together, all the different branches, but I remember the National Guard people had to have their own special thing they did, but apparently that was it also. But Aaron is blowing it up. What's going on, man? Yeah, we're swearing in.
So basically, the difference is, if you're not the National Guard, you don't take the oath as of the state.
Yeah, if you're not National Guard, you're only federal.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But,
So that was that. So back to what you're saying.
What was
about
I saying?
The UK and the stabbing.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, stabbing everybody. Well, they're
Bloody
stabbing
bastards!
everybody.
I'll stab you all.
Yeah, man, they're just they're stabbing each other over there. So
it's not a gun issue.
it's not it's not a gun issue. And then some people say it's a mental illness, mental health issue. But then again, I see a lot of people that are getting in trouble for protecting themselves. Like, just because you kill somebody, let's say you're standing your ground, right? Stand ground law. Mm-hmm. Okay, and now I'm not going into that. I'm not going into the whole what is the law. But let's just say this. If somebody is coming at you and you feel that your life's in danger, it is totally within your rights to kill that person. Or basically protect yourself. There's a lot of people getting in trouble just doing that. Mm-hmm.
Well, now there's laws. Like, somebody breaks into your house, and if they're trying to physically get away and you shoot them in the back, that's murder.
yeah, I mean that's.
Well, if they're trying to
No, if they've already killed someone in my house, I don't give
Yeah.
a shit if you run away or not.
right. And then here's the thing, man. You harm any, and I'm pretty sure anybody's like this. If somebody comes into my house, harms some of my family, and they just so happen to get out the house, well, I'm going after them.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't care. And I think everybody would be like that. The only
Right.
reason you wouldn't do that is if you physically couldn't.
Right.
But it's just a
It's
crazy
really,
world, man.
What really makes me funny is everybody that's saying, "Oh, it's a police state." We need to police the police. They don't have enough training. They're shooting people left and right because they're scared and they don't know shit about how to be police. These people who are saying all this are the exact same people who are saying only the police should have guns.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you
that.
retarded?
That's a contradiction.
I have noticed that.
You
And
should've hit the
dude,
sound
cops,
board on that
look,
Jesus,
cops.
dude.
I'm gonna say this. Cops get a bad rap a lot
do.
of times. Now look, just in any workplace, okay, you have people that shouldn't be doing their jobs, that shouldn't have ever been a cop, that just so happen are, and are horrible at their job.
Yeah.
But that's everywhere. And it's sad, but those people, that small percentage of people, can make a whole police force look bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll pull you over or stop you and not even have a reason to do it. And their only thing they have as to their authority, they're like,
I'm a cop, you idiot!
Have you guys ever really looked at the public figures? And I'm not going to name any names, but the people in high power that want to get rid of the guns. Have you ever really looked at the security detail?
Yeah, they're protected by guns.
"Oh, dude."
All of those people
And
are
they're-
toting MP9s.
They're protected by Class 3 firearms,
Right.
not just weapons. They're protected by weapons that we can't even get.
Yeah,
without a tax
MP9s.
stamp.
These weapons of war, man.
Yeah, weapons of war to protect your political asses.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
What else is going on in the world? The impeachment of Trump. Did you guys? I'm sorry, Mick. I know. Did you guys see the video with Trump and the LSU
did.
Tigers in the
I
Oval
did.
Office? Dude, that was so epic.
I found it. It was at the end. He's all like, "Yeah, we're gonna go take pictures of the Oval Office."
They've never done that with anybody else.
And he's like, "We're all going in there. There's been some good presidents, some not so good presidents."
Yeah. He's like, and they're trying to impeach this son of a bitch. Yeah.
That's why I love Trump, man.
Man, he did say that.
don't care.
He did say, since he's been in office and all these national championship teams and Super Bowl and World Series, all these teams that have won major whatever the sport is, he said that the LSU Tigers were the most well-behaved team he's ever hosted.
That's awesome.
Well, that gets me thinking. What did the other teams do?
Well, a lot. Okay, and I really hate to say this because I'm a huge Red Sox fan. Okay, Alex Cora, the man, well, the former manager of the Red Sox, he's now been banned for life for cheating with the Houston Astros.
That okay? So that was what all that was about. I was kind of reading something about
he
it.
refused to go to the White House and visit with Trump because he said Trump's a cheater, and then he gets banned for life for cheating.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
But hey, look, man, we shouldn't be surprised about that. It's usually, and this is almost every time, when somebody's saying, "Oh, this person's doing this,"
They're doing
it's
it.
because they're the ones doing it.
Absolutely, man. I don't know. And if anybody from Boston, and I know it's highly unlikely, but anybody from the Red Sox organization, man, y'all need to vet these guys before you hire them, please. Because I love the Red Sox pretty much as I love LSU, and That gives us a bad name. Now they're questioning our World Series win.
Yeah.
Well,
he cheated.
How is baseball doing, by the way? I'm not a big baseball fan.
Yeah, me neither.
And, I remember when I was younger, I would hear way more about baseball on TV and the news than I do now.
Well, but that's because football pretty much took over as America's pastime. But baseball, to me, is still more entertaining than football.
See, I can't watch a baseball game on TV.
I watch every Red Sox game that I'm able to catch on TV, I watch. And then, when I'm sitting at the house on a Saturday or Sunday and it's not on TV, I'll pull it up illegally on my phone. Black out my ass.
Illegally.
But it's great, man. Baseball's booming, especially locally, with the Astros, with the success that they've had. This year, the Washington Nationals won the World Series.
It was the Nationals. I heard that.
Yeah, they won. I enjoy baseball.
I can't. Okay, this is how it is with me. Football, I don't like going to the football game in person. I like watching it on TV. Baseball, on the other hand, is totally different.
Yeah, dude. Going to a live baseball game is freaking awesome.
Yeah, I love going to the actual game.
I've played baseball my whole life, and it's kind of embarrassing. I've never been to a real baseball game.
Really?
Like a professional.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've been to I can't even tell you the number of LSU games I've been to. Shut up, Bigfoot, for breakfast. We're not even going to shout you guys out today. Don't ever say them cuss words back on our live. Go Cubs. Get out of here.
I think my first professional baseball game was the Astros and the Blue Jays.
See, I've never even been to an Astros game.
Years, I mean, dude, I'm talking years ago. I'm talking. They were still in the dome. They were still in the Astrodome.
Oh my God! How old
Yeah.
are
That
you,
was a
dude?
while back.
Yeah, their uniforms were still the old. Was like the red and the orange.
They're still like
stripe
that, dude.
Oh,
with the star.
Yeah.
some of the retro ones.
Yeah.
The
Burnt
stripes.
orange.
Well,
Yeah.
this wasn't retro back then. This was what they wore.
Yeah, this was like new and upcoming.
That was during Nolan Ryan era.
Yeah.
That was Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell era. What he's talking about.
No.
that's not
Yeah,
Nolan
you're
Ryan.
right. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. You're right. Yes. Man.
Because the uniforms that they wear now, the retrofit, those are the ones that Nolan Ryan wore
Right.
back
Well, that's
in
what I thought he was talking about. Was
No,
the
he's
Nolan
talking
Ryan
about
era.
the ones when Craig Biggio played. Like it had the Astro.
No, it was Biggio because
the
I called
star.
him a bitch to his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Bagwell.
Yeah. He wouldn't sign my baseball.
So if you're watching the stream, comment comment below and let us know how the stream looks. If it's pausing, if it's been freezing up, we're still kind of trying to tweak the settings in OBS so we can get
Everything perfect.
Yeah, so we can get it to stop dropping frames and stuff. So if it's been giving you any problems, post it down below so we know.
As well. Or hey, feel free to call in. Give us a call in. Sarah, Sam, whichever one of you watching us, call in and say how much you love the Cubs so I can bash you.
Yeah.
Cubs are garbage. Aaron, if you want to call in and talk, man, we got a hotline listed on the top of your screen now, QE Guys Hotline, and that number is 337-426-0837. If you guys can't see it, let me know. We'll update it for next week. What else is going on? Mardi Gras. For those of you that do not know that are not local, Mardi Gras season has officially
Yeah,
started.
it has.
Mick went to a Mardi Gras ball last night.
Yes,
and
I did.
got obliterated.
That is true.
Plastered.
That is true. Had a good time.
Y'all, you guys can't see it, but we're actually doing weekend at Bernie's for the Mick right now. There's
Yeah.
secretly a hand up his butt talking for him.
Yeah, man. I got the pleasure to go to my first ball this year.
How was it, man? Explain.
It was, man. It's really good if you've never been to one. Ours just was it was a formal, so tuxedos, ball
Right.
dress, and stuff like that.
So Brandy wore the tux and you wore the ball dress?
I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to role reversal thing
Brandy would kill you.
at a ball, not in real life.
Chicks making out.
But no, we had a good night. I don't want to get too much into detail because things that happen at balls are supposed to stay at balls, So there's that. But I can tell you when you go to them, and a lot of them are the same. Some kind of tweak it to their own way, but it's a lot of drinking, a lot of dancing, a lot of fun.
Are there any? Because I've never been to a Mardi Gras ball. Are there still any authentic cultural rituals that they still do?
It all depends. It all depends. Some might go into the whole garb, and look, when you see these Mardi Gras costumes, a lot of them are real feathers. They're made out of actual real animals. Okay, so they're like $4,000 or $5,000.
Right. Yeah, they're expensive.
Costumes. But some are, I guess you could call them traditional, and then they'll have skits or plays or something like that. And then some are just like last night, where it wasn't so much of theatrical. It was more of just everybody hanging out and having a good time.
Right. So who did you go with?
Oh, I went with old Roe and Laney, man.
Lanny B. What is she up to?
She's they're doing good. They're doing good. They're doing a lot with the Mardi Gras stuff.
Yeah, she's
keeping busy.
Busy as hell, I'm assuming.
Yeah. But we had a real good time. Didn't get out of there till midnight. So I'm running on fumes, but I'm doing it. I'm here.
And you're drinking some more coffee.
Got to get the
coffee
in.
man.
What's going on new in your life? What'd you go pick up today?
Oh man, I went and got the vehicle that is housing the engine and transmission. I'm going to remove so that I can build a drift truck. Yeah.
Oh, so one day if me and Mick pop on live and Rob's not here, you know why. He's either dead or in the hospital.
Oh, come on, man. I'm a better driver than that.
It's not the straightaways that are dangerous. It's them turns.
Yeah,
and you just want to drift around them.
Yeah, when I can take turns while out of control,
so
being in control makes them even easier.
So you're going to actually turn that into a drift truck, not a drag truck.
No, a drift truck. Why would I want to drag? Yeah, we see your comments, Brandy.
You don't.
He probably can't read them because he's way back there, and I don't know.
No.
Or do you have glasses?
No, I do not.
Yeah.
He's got like 80-90 vision.
No. You don't see a lot of drift trucks.
Yeah, this thing's gonna be badass. Dude.
You don't see a lot of drift trucks, mostly cars.
The ideas I have for it are pretty awesome. Twin turbo 4.6 liter T56 transmission.
And now you are speaking Chinese to me.
Fast, lots of power.
There you go. That sounds great. So what else? What else is going on, Mick? Come on. What's new in the news?
Well, I want to tell everybody who's watching, if you haven't already, go to the Attitude Podcast Network page and drop them a like. That's a lot of our affiliates, people we give shout-outs to. Sean, would you like to take over the shout-outs?
Yeah, we actually, me and Mick and Chris and Sarah from Bigfoot for Breakfast and Chris over from MWP Podcast, we decided, we're going to start a network and we're going to promote each other and we're going to be there for each other, support each other, spread each other's stuff. And the guys that are in that network is the QE guys, which is us, Bigfoot for Breakfast. We talk about them all the time. MWP Podcast, the Kensington Corner, and then Simplify Rob and my other podcast, Altered Thought, which we just released an episode yesterday. And it was entitled Mary Magdalene. It was really good.
And another one is coming in the next day or so once Sean gets it all edited up. It's going to be on the simulation theory. Do we live in the Matrix? The simulation.
It's a good one.
It's definitely one of those kind of things that get your brain wondering.
That one will be released Friday. It's going to be edited today or tomorrow, and it'll be ready, but it'll be published Friday.
Loser.
I'm not. A little bit, maybe.
You lie! You're a fucking liar! Shut up!
Oh man.
But no, man, my week's been kind of shoddy, man, because we did our last week, our show last week. When I left here, I got sick, and I was sick till like Wednesday.
Like stomach sick?
Dude, I had 100 and something fever. I was done. I was out.
That sucks.
And then I start feeling better for the weekend, and then this weekend I haven't even had time to watch TV. I was either sleeping, throwing up, or going to work.
You sure it wasn't that peanut butter whiskey?
No, that was the week before.
I drank plenty of that, and I'm not sick.
Yeah, well, we have weak stomachs, I guess.
Oh man, now that put me in the bathroom though. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Peanut butter whiskey.
Ooh.
How many people are viewing our live right now? I want somebody to call in. Don't hesitate.
So
call
the
in.
actual viewers that it's showing on OBS is only on Twitch. It doesn't show the Facebook
because it's
views.
just me on Twitch.
Yeah. So we'll need to have the page actually pulled up, and I can do that. Let me see.
There's 5 people viewing. One of you fuckers call and talk to us live.
Let's see. I might be able to do that.
That's right.
Now there's 4, so somebody left when I said that.
We're sorry. Come back.
Please come back. Don't leave us.
Oh man, that's whack. It won't let me do the. Maybe if I do this. Oh no, I can't do that.
Man, the studio is really starting to come along great.
Well, that's one thing. It seems like every week something else gets a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're learning every day, getting some of the kinks ironed out, trying to make the video quality better.
You guys do not see or do not understand the work it takes behind just sitting.
There's a lot of work
talking at a mic. It's a lot of work. It's not just, hey, we're gonna sit here and talk shit at a microphone.
Yeah, it ain't so much the work to do all that as much as it is. Dang, that makes it. All right, so I'm gonna have to move this only during the Facebook feed.
It's just a lot of consumption of time.
Over here.
Time consuming.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I mean, the topics that we discuss, it's not just random topics. We actually research the stuff that we're talking about. It's not like, oh, I believe this. We gather research and then base our opinions on that research.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, we're incoherent.
Well, it's a mixture. I like to think of it as a mixture.
Random topics.
Are you pulling it up over there?
Yeah.
Well, then why didn't you tell me to stop
We
doing
gather
this?
research and then base our opinions on that research.
So you can keep track of our viewers.
Yeah. We're trying to figure this out. Running like 9 computers is not easy.
The only thing is that might give a problem is, but that's just downloading, so it may not be an issue there, is bandwidth usage.
Yeah. Well, this is on a different one than that one. Remember?
No. Well,
5G. No, it is. This one's not on 5G.
Yeah, I did. All right, cool. Yeah, so I got the comments. You got the viewers.
Wow. Hey, Mr. RJ, please give us a call. Call in. The number's at the top of your screen. Oh, so this is Sarah and Sam's dad. This guy has sent me some awesome material for episodes through Facebook. Mr. RJ, please give us a call. The number is 337-426-0837.
In the 337, yo.
Oh,
Yo.
my God. Dude. Oh my God, I love Mr. RJ. I think I love RJ more than I love Bigfoot for breakfast.
That's a horrible thing to say.
Well, like he's so supportive of the show. Like after every episode, he'll comment on Castbox. You know, he's always sending stuff to us. You know, for episode ideas. Like he really freaking loves the show.
Oh God, no, she says.
Don't hate. We love your
We
dad.
ain't doing that.
Oh man.
Still waiting for the phone to ring, RJ. Still.
Well, there's a delay. Remember?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
it
know
sucks.
it's past there. Watch.
Yeah, there's like 15-second delay on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's actually, I have it set at 20 seconds. That way it'll give it a chance to catch back up. So everything that we're recording, it helps keep frame drops down.
Right.
So the less delay you have, the more chance you have for frame drops. And then you have angry people.
That's the technology guy right there. Simplify Rob.
I was thinking the other day, though, man, I think what I'm missing is arm tattoos.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think I'm missing arm tattoos.
Dude, you have to get a The Mick tattoo.
I'm starting to see everybody with these arm tattoos, and I'm like, man, it looks good. And then, you know, everybody on the podcast, like Rob, man, he's got these awesome arm tattoos. I think that's what I need. That's what I need. Just need some arm tattoos.
In case you don't know, viewers, this is ancient Greek for "come get them," as in "come get my guns."
Come and take them.
Come take them. Come get them. It's
And
a direct translation.
It's pronounced Moulin Lave.
But I don't have any. You have any tattoos?
I have 11.
I don't have any.
They're
I
hidden.
have none.
They are hidden.
I have no tattoos. The only thing I've ever had is a pierced deer.
A pierced deer.
A pierced deer.
He's got a Jacob's ladder.
That's it.
I'm just hot. I'm not tripping.
If I could control that camera, I'd be like, pan over there.
It's just hot.
Look at his man boobs, his boobage.
Hey, don't hate on my sexy boobies.
Are we gonna do a topless episode one day?
Yeah,
think that
you're
would
topless.
think that would get that would get views.
Well, that would get one view from Brandy.
There's the
watching
dinner
you.
plates. Look at the dinner plates.
No, they're not dinner plates. I don't ever want to do a topless one and be like, oh, he was lying. They're cute. They're cute and in proportion.
Little sausages.
They're so not in proportion.
Yeah, they're in proportion.
Lies.
I don't want to use that one again. I've used that one too many times already this morning. I said this morning.
So I've done my
5 o'clock.
friendly banter. Who else is going to pick up so there's no dead air or dead
Dead
space?
Oh, and I have a phone call.
We've all been talking.
Let me tell him to call the show.
That's what I would really like to.
Yeah, if
talk
you want to call
somebody.
me, call the show. Let me send him a text message. Tell him to call the show.
Who was that?
Benjy.
I don't know him, but okay. Well, we're going to have a conversation with somebody named Benjy. Since Mr. RJ wouldn't call. Hurt my feelings and everything.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him either.
I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to call us either.
I wouldn't want to talk to me.
Hell no.
I don't know how you guys do it every week.
426-03-0837.
0837.
So yeah, I'm probably going to be talking to him about cars, most likely. Because I guess he bought a truck that most likely needs cam gears and a timing set.
So for all the ladies fixing to listen, y'all can be like me and just tune it out.
Or pay attention, you might learn something. I'm going to learn you something.
So I'm waiting on the phone to ring.
It's not going to ring your... It'll take him a couple minutes.
Oh.
But,
So
so I don't know, have our listeners or viewers ever gotten an explanation as to why you're a Bo Sox fan? When you're from Louisiana with your Bo Sox wearing ass.
You know I'm a Red Sox fan.
But I mean, did they know?
They should if they listen to the episode all about Sean.
This is the only thing I wonder. Do you ever think we're going to get a professional
No.
baseball team?
We have a AAA team and
The Zephyrs, right?
yeah, well now they're called the New Orleans Baby Cakes. I don't know what the
Are
fuck.
you serious?
I swear to Christ.
The New Orleans baby cake. So they're taking that off the king cake,
Yeah.
the baby cake.
Oh, Mr. RJ's gonna call. That's what's up. But okay, so I'm a Red Sox fan. You guys should go back and listen to our podcast. This is Sean. But when I was 10 years old, I was a huge baseball fan. I played baseball since I was about 4 or 5 years old. And my favorite player at the time was Nomar Garcia Parra, who was a shortstop for the Red Sox, and Chipper Jones, who was third base for the Braves. Well, at the time, everybody in like 95, 96 were baseball fans. And they all loved the Braves because the Braves were the dominant team.
Yeah, I remember a lot about the Braves, yeah.
Well, I wanted to be different from everybody else, so I went to my second favorite player, which was Nomar.
Mm-hmm.
Red Sox. Been a Red Sox fan since 1996.
Okay.
Pretty simple story.
Pretty
all based
dope.
on a player.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite baseball
And then we
team.
got people like Big Papi and Dustin Pedroia, and then now Xander Bogaerts and Mookie Betts, and then it stayed. I'm a diehard Red Sox fan, win or lose.
Like around here, you hear a lot about the local college team, the Cowboys, when they play.
McNeese, yeah.
Yeah, McNeese Cowboys.
McNeese is actually every year they do have a pretty decent baseball squad. Football, it's kind of hit
It's hit or miss, yeah. It's hit or miss.
Oh, I know who that is. Hello, you're on the show with the QE guys. Who are we speaking to? First names only, please.
Hey, baby.
Hello.
RJ's here.
Hey, Mr. RJ, what's on? What's going on, sir?
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
It's going, sir.
Oh, we got quite a bit of a delay.
A little bit.
Let me.
There's
I
nothing
cannot
like-
watch and talk to.
Yeah, turn your radio down or whatever you're listening to us on.
If we're on the radio.
Hey, we might be. So, is there any input you would like to add on the previous episodes? Because I know after a few of them, you sent me some stuff, and I really, really wanted to. I was like, man, I wish you would have been able to call, but I understand that you are a police officer and have some weird shifts sometimes. So we definitely understand and appreciate your service for protecting and serving your community.
Yeah, thank you much. I have no input at this time. What are you doing today? What's the show about?
We are talking about the development of pew-pew, of weapons.
Yeah.
pretty much our God-given Second Amendment right. How do you feel about that?
They got some pretty cool ones. Just can't afford them, I guess. Some of them.
They are getting crazy expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
Even the old ones. I remember like the popular ones. Remember like the you could buy an SKS for like $30.
When?
The early '90s, the early '90s, you could get a crate of SKSs for like $120.
Really?
Like the Mosin Nagant. People always correct me when I've always known it as Mosin Nagant.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, you could buy those for $10 a pop. Like all those old Russian military weapons, and now if you've got a bunch of those at one time, you're sitting on a gold mine because those things are now starting to get like SKS $300-400 some places.
Yeah.
It's nuts. So yeah, prices are going up.
Did you guys see that new Scar rifle that they're coming out with?
Yeah.
I tagged on it. Yeah, I want one. I looked at the price. $2,700.
Oh yeah.
No
Oh
thanks.
yeah. Easy.
Well, the MSRP was $26.99, so it might be a little bit cheaper, probably like $1,900.
Mr. RJ, what would you say your favorite out of the rifle family? What's your go-to?
Oh, I have a 223 for my patrol vehicle.
Oh yeah, like a Bushmaster.
Just off-brand.
Is so we're talking about the AR platform.
Yep, AR platform.
Okay. So
I like that quite well.
So has that always been your favorite, or do you have any older rifles that you've ever liked?
Honestly, my favorite rifle that I own is a Winchester 30-30 from back in the late 60s.
You know, lever action, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it side eject or top eject?
It is a top eject.
I have that. I have the exact one probably you're talking about. I love it. It's my favorite as well.
Yeah.
My dad used to have the
They're
old
neat.
30-30
I love them.
side eject.
Oh man, that's my deer gun.
So yeah, that was his deer gun as well. So we do have to ask. We've mentioned it a couple of times on our shows. How did you come to raise two amazing conservative daughters? You know, especially in this whole feminist movement nowadays.
A lot of hard work, I think. I don't know. They're pretty smart. They're pretty smart girls, though, so they can come to a lot of these conclusions on their own. You know.
But yeah, I've talked quite a bit with Sam and Sarah, and they actually feel a lot of the same way that we all feel. So that's great.
Yeah.
That's a good sign for the rest of the world too, though.
Definitely.
Well, you know, man. Once again, media.
Yeah.
Media wants to make you think. It's almost like they want to you get this line, re-education.
Yeah.
They want to or they just want to educate you.
Well, social
You know?
media has made the world really small, so
I would call that brainwashing.
everything
Yeah.
social media kind of blows everything out of proportion. There's not as many people out there that feel the way that Facebook makes it seem.
Right.
There's not nearly as many people out there that say, "Oh, we should be confiscating guns and everyone should use the same bathroom and there's 28 genders and all this other bullshit." There's not as many people out there that think that.
No,
There's
not at all.
72 genders according. Yeah.
There's two.
Man. Just irritates me.
Yeah.
I worked with a guy down in Texas one time, and he was an old hippie dude, and really smart guy, had made his way in the world, and he had a lot of money. And he said that after the 60s, the general consensus with the liberal type was the only way they could affect change was from within. So they inundated the school system with this liberal thought process that they got going
indoctrination.
on.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely. Yep.
That's how it begins, and that's how it's gonna. I mean, it's already in the college campuses across the country. So.
And I think a lot of it started with not being able to discipline your children.
Yes. Absolutely.
That was a big thing because they made it to where now if you spank your kids, you could actually get in trouble.
Go to prison.
Not saying abuse your kids, but I tell you what, I mean, I was raised with a belt. You know,
Well, my dad never used a belt.
my dad did.
He had a paddle. Because he was afraid. He always told me belt's bruised, paddle won't.
But then you start seeing all these the younger generation coming up so inconsiderate.
Right. Well, we talked
So
about that.
inconsiderate.
We've covered that
Yeah.
on our child abuse episode.
We sure did.
When should the village get involved?
And that has a lot to do with it too. And then the schools take over and just kind of fill their brains with what they call the truth,
Yeah.
with the true way things should be, and then they grow up with that. And it takes a strong, smart mind to see all through that. It really does.
I mean, you got kids at school for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then they come home and they got homework to do, so they don't really get a whole lot of family interaction.
No, the schools raise your kids.
Yeah.
You know, because the family structure nowadays,
Both
usually
parents are
your
working.
mom and dad work,
yeah.
or your mom and mom work.
It's kind of built. It's kind of built for the state to raise your kids for a reason, like to control what
Voters.
what they're thinking, what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You know, if you control the population coming in, then you're going to be able to control what they do and what they say.
Yeah.
What you got there, RJ? You were trying to say something?
I said, you think?
Oh
No,
yeah,
yeah.
no, definitely.
Well, I do have a question
Yeah.
for you, RJ. We are the question everything guys. What topic
Yeah.
would you like to see us cover in 2020?
Oh my God! I send them to Sean. I got a pile of them.
A pile of them. I like it.
Dude, I can pull up my messenger right now and probably read like 15 of them that he sent. I love it. Like, please don't stop. We really love the feedback.
Absolutely. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a big help.
I know the last one that
I'm just-
the last one that you sent me, it really intrigued me. I was
Oh, I got another call coming in.
all right, Mr. RG. Thank you so much for calling in. We'll have to answer
Thank
this
you.
one.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. RJ.
Hello, you're on the QE.
Okay, so this is the model A6098 NHS US, and it's going to 2108 Taylor Street.
Hello.
Hello.
Right? I'm going to say it a third time just to make sure, right? Model 6098 NHS US, and I'm sending that to 2108, correct?
Sure, that sounds right.
2108, correct.
Yeah. All right, so I just clicked it now. I clicked it, and it says 2108, so let me repeat it. Ready? Model 6A6098 NHS-US.
Niner.
A6098 NHS US, correct?
Niner.
I muted us just so we can listen.
Who is this?
We're on three-way.
Hello.
869.
I got A6098.
Who is this guy?
No, but
I
I
don't
said
know.
6098 when I was clicking the button. You said yes.
Hold on, dude. Hold on.
Hello.
You know what? Fuck it, okay?
Hey, whoa.
Okay. There we go. I had to do that. That was too much. Okay. I think I'm done with that guy.
Hi, you're on the Question Everything Guys' podcast. Who is this?
He was so unimpressed.
Just wasn't getting it.
He wasn't, dude.
Who is this? Can you guys hear us?
It amazes me how dumb some people are.
What the fuck?
We're going through.
I bet he calls
For
back.
real, he was so fucking slow.
He was. He
I
really
repeated
was.
it like 4 times.
I feel like
You did.
like we're in someone else's podcast.
I think we are.
I mean, you really tried with him.
Well,
Somebody
two
comment in the
people are
comment
getting it now.
section.
They're he's
Are you
gonna get
guys
the wrong
getting
part,
this?
and another guy's going to get the right part. We could call him and tell him to offer to trade it with the guy who's getting the right part.
Swap him out.
Hello, anybody?
Well, he owes us for that, so I hope he
Well,
doesn't
how
get in charge.
Hey,
He
Yoshi.
owes us.
How about Tuesday? Tuesday calling is the guy you said the right part to.
Yeah, there you go. Call him on Tuesday and be like, I got this.
Hello, my name is Willow. How may I help you today?
Hello.
This is Ken Watkins. I just got through talking to a supervisor
Yes, sir.
about getting a power cord.
What the
to
fuck is going on?
My system.
Oh, dude,
which
this is
the
great
model
content.
A6908 NHS. And he was talking about he was going to send me one.
Yes.
I'm just wondering how the fuck we got
Okay.
called. Whenever they're clearly in a
Is he still
conversation
gonna
with
do
like
it or
3
what?
other people.
Well, I think he tried to confirm with you. It shows in my notes that he
Okay.
shipped 2.
He shipped 2.
Yeah, so it shows 2 were shipped. 1 to 2018.
All I'm gonna say is once this is over, I'm calling back.
2108.
I'm calling that number back and be like, hey man,
An A6.
210.
just so you know,
Yeah,
your
a
entire
6908.
conversation was
Yeah,
write that part number
6908
down.
is going to
We'll call him
2018,
back
and a 6
and ask him about that part number.
098 is going to 2108.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're at 2108. Yeah, you're getting the
That
A.
is correct.
Yeah, you're getting the A6098.
Job.
A6098.
Okay. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you.
We'll
Only
also
on the
send you a
question
flaming
everything,
bag of
guys.
shit.
Are you
Thank
guys gonna get this
you.
type of shit? Dude, every week it's something fucking weird.
Wow.
He's so clueless.
So are you, bitch.
That is hard, though. It's like a tongue twister. It's getting difficult in my head to keep straight. I had to write it out.
I don't think he knows what he's getting. Well, and I thought he'd totally recognize my voice, and he's just like, no, it's cool. Or I thought he'd ask for another supervisor or something.
Oh, call us
He
back,
gave
Mr.
up.
RJ. We're gonna end this
He
call. Get this
literally
call
gave
back.
up.
No, we gotta call them back and
Poor guy.
Call him back right now. Call him. Hang up.
call them back.
Yeah. Hold on, Mr.
Write this
RJ.
number down
Almost
Right
pizza
now.
time.
because it's not gonna let me call.
Facebook Live, faggots.
Wow. Facebook Live,
Wow.
faggots.
What?
I don't know. I was just told to say that. Fuck
Wow.
you guys.
By whom?
Well, fuck you.
I don't know.
Don't talk to me that way.
Fuck
You
you
don't know
guys.
me.
Hold on.
Don't know
I'm
who.
just saying
Do
things.
you have voices in your head? Okay.
No, I'm just saying things. I'm being told to say things. QE guys are queers.
Whoa.
Oh, this guy.
Whoa. Hey,
They can finally.
She's being told to say things.
just calm down with all that.
So you guys just randomly fucking called us, and they can't even hear
I don't
us.
know. Lou tells me to say things, so I just say them.
He wants you to join this thing, apparently. He says hurry.
Hurry.
He wants you to go in there.
They're probably gonna
All
come
these
on.
guys queers, apparently.
Come on to our
So you
show.
want to commit
Oh, hey,
crime.
fuck yeah! We need more viewers.
We're
Come on.
already on there, buddy.
Yeah, I think we're already saying it. That's an account number. Ooh. Whatever. I think Lou has it in a call that he cut, me saying, I'll do pretty much anything Lou tells me to do.
We're still on there, I think.
So wait,
Oh.
Lou's connected
Yeah,
to it?
we're on the air.
Man, my bad.
I am so
Oh.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
Hey, hit the soundboard.
Dude, I will literally rip off your skin with my teeth and use it as a fucking backpack. Shut the fuck up, you stupid piece of shit.
That sounds like a
You
great
guys
Friday
are-
night.
That is a good Friday night right there.
I'm
I
down
fucking
with
hate these guys.
Oh, fuck. Who is this? Oh, it's the water guy. It's the water guy. I think.
They have a water guy?
I'm the trucker.
Hello, my name is Willow. How may I help you today?
I gotta go on Facebook Live.
No,
and hear
I'm
these
calling
fuckers.
you back because you guys called me twice, so.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I had a notification come across my desk. I'm not wearing a bra right now either. You
Wait, what?
lost your debit card. Can we please give you a call? And you can't wait to get your car back.
What you say? Sorry?
It says you lost your debit card. Can we please give you a call? We're with Money Network and good to deal with T, winky face. Can't wait to get your car back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
Yeah. So do you need a card or your car? I mean, I can do both, but what do you want?
Go for both.
Just waiting for my debit card.
Oh, well, that's easier than a car. So yeah. Well,
Yeah, no, I don't want a car.
yeah. So to confirm that you are who you say you are, I need to know your first name.
Miguel.
Peter.
Miguel. Great. And if you are truly Miguel, I need to ask some security questions.
All right, we
What
get some.
is your favorite color?
Yeah,
What is
don't-
Miguel's favorite
don't-
color?
Don't let that dude's personal information get out.
I don't even think this is real.
I don't.
What
How
would
the fuck
Miguel
can they
say
not
his
hear us?
favorite color is?
Are they that fucking technologically disadvantaged that they
Miguel's
don't know how to
favorite
do
color
this?
I think this is a prank because they
actually
think they mentioned
Negro.
QE guys.
Yeah, they did.
Well, they definitely did.
Next-
So one of their guys has to be listening on the phone So somebody probably hopped on our live, got the number, and then called us. We answered, and then we're hearing their conversation, but they can't hear us.
I think they can.
All right, we're calling them back.
Hey.
I apologize, but this is fucking funny.
That's pretty weird.
It's hilarious.
I'm on Facebook Live trying to find this video now because she said something about Facebook Live.
Oh, they're going to block our call.
Call back. Blow their fucking shit up.
No, they could have called us from a robodialer or a proxy or something like that. Probably what happened.
Well, no, dude, how would they mention the QE guys?
Just like you said, like you can use like you can get a Google number that doesn't work to receive calls.
Yeah, and that's like that they might have called more than us.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah,
That's what
happened.
What'd you guys think of that?
The voices sounded
Only
eerily
on the QE
familiar, though.
Yeah, only on the QE guys.
Which their name was Willow?
Yeah.
The last time I heard that was that movie in like 80s.
Oh God, don't mention Willow because
Willow.
once you start mentioning Willow,
So there were some things that she said. Her name was Willow was one of them. That was probably a fake name, but that Lou tells her to say things.
Yeah, Lou's in her head, and
Like
she'll do anything Lou says.
Anything Lou says. Lou says, "Give me a blowjob."
whoa! I want to be Lou.
There's a space under that desk.
Are you gonna get underneath there? Look, I knew it. I
you
knew.
were Lou.
I fucking knew. Once you said the movie Willow, Bigfoot for Breakfast was gonna comment. I knew it.
I'm with you on that one.
I've never
That's a
seen
great
it.
movie.
I have never seen it.
Great movie.
Willow.
I actually played the Nintendo game from beginning to end probably 20 times.
Val Kilmer was in that Willow.
Excuse me. I have to go talk to a man about a dog real quick.
Oh, man.
Well, y'all want to take a break and then we'll do the show?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
So if you want to go take a break, I'll...
Be back in 5.
Yeah,
I'll stay here.
We're going to do a 5-minute break.
Around. And then I'll take a break when y'all get back.
Come on, chair.
Yeah, that thing kind of swallows you up,
It
doesn't
does.
it? Mad Mart again. All right. So I'm going to do
That's for cable.
some research now. 603 556 8425.
You're in bed? Huh? Possibly. Yeah.
From New Hampshire. Manchester, New Hampshire. Not that means anything, but... Yeah, so we're gonna be getting some new sound bites here pretty soon because it takes so long to get sound bites done. You gotta go in and find the stuff you want and trim it down and save it and adjust the volume and try to edit it so it doesn't sound crazy. Let's see, y'all. I don't know what's on the TV in there, but it's loud. Yeah.
Brandy thinks she knows who that is.
Yeah, I think I know who it is too. But we're not going to say who we think it is on the air.
What? Why? Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Notifications. Yes. Because the voice did sound quite familiar.
Well, I still have. I mean, we could compare it. This is live. It's recording, so we will definitely be able to compare it. I still have the other episode.
Oh, you still have the original video? The original episode?
Of course.
Again, though, I mean, you'd have to amplify her voice because I could barely hear it.
Yeah. But she was the best thing that ever happened to our show.
Yeah. So we've heard.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the case, she should do awesome on her own.
Right. Like, Willow should do great.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, wow. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's all the way up underneath that bus.
How many viewers are we still packing?
Let me go open the video.
5. Wow, we still got 5 of you guys watching? We love you guys. Thank
Yeah,
you
man.
for being so supportive.
They're watching me scratch my butt.
I'd watch that.
I know you would. Well, I got 7 according to what I'm showing.
Oh, yep. Now we got 7. Holy hell.
50 comments, 4 shares, 2
wow, we
likes.
still got 5 of you guys watching? We love you guys. Thank you for being so supportive.
Shady's. And we're playing Shady's Poopong. Poopong.
Poopong is great.
9 viewers. Yeah, yo.
So we're gonna when we start recording the episode, we're gonna break into the history, correct? Of weapons.
I don't know what Mix got in store. Poopong. It's possible.
Poopong is great.
That's not what I want to see. It's a clip, full screen. Oh, exit that. I don't want that.
Dude, that was great. Whatever that, I don't care. Like, that phone call was freaking awesome. Let me try to call them back from my cell phone because they don't know my number.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Why?
Because it's not a real phone number. It's a proxy phone number.
Dude, your handwriting is terrible.
If you can't read my handwriting, it's because there's something wrong with your eyes.
Well, there's something wrong with my eyes then.
The number you dialed is not a working.
Yeah, that's funny. We definitely will mention Virginia, RG, that once we start recording the actual... We go on live like 30, 45 minutes before we record the episode to give our Facebook followers extra content, more stuff to laugh at, more entertainment.
Yeah. And to encourage going and viewing the actual, or listening to the actual show, the actual episode.
Yeah, because the episode does get edited and it's more...
That's where the content is too. Like if you want to hear the actual episode, check it out.
We heard Brandy. Rob was thinking the same thing. Yeah. It doesn't matter. We're not gonna give said person the benefit. Like we're not even gonna whatever. Yeah. She can eat a dick. We need a fucking eat a dick button soundbite.
Okay, let me go ahead and look one up real quick.
Eat a dick.
I mean, I can make one.
Eat a dick. I just made one.
Yeah, I just gotta save it.
Oh man, this is great. We've been live for an hour, really?
Already.
Holy hell. I did not know it was that long. Time goes by when you're having fun. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm. It did not bring up any results, so we're going to make our own.
By the way, for birthday presents, my birthday is right around the corner. It's like 2 weeks away. There's this new clothing brand I found out.
No one cares.
Well, I'm fucking plugging it. It's this new clothing brand I found. It's called Black Clover. You guys should definitely check them out. They have some badass hats, man. I know you don't wear very many hats, but I'm telling you about the. Have you heard of Devil Dog jeans? I figured you would wear those.
I mean, I have heard of them.
Figured you would sport the fuck out of those.
I haven't seen them. I've never looked at them.
They're pretty nice. They're kind of like a mix between American Eagle jeans and Levi's. They're pretty nice.
And if they're as expensive as
they're about $80 a pair.
Jesus, no, thank you.
What jeans do you wear? Levi's are the same price. That's what I wear.
Cheap jeans. Levi's ain't no $80 a pair. Are you crazy?
Real Levi's, not Walmart Levi's. Yes, they are, brother. Look them up.
I don't buy those either. My wife buys my jeans at Old Navy because they're like $30 a pair.
Old Navy. Is that still a thing?
They fit.
No, Old Navy. I thought that shit ran out of business like a long time ago.
No.
Oh,
There's still one right there in Lake Charles on Derrick Drive. Big old store.
I did not know that. That's insane. So if anybody watching, you guys want to call in, please call the number. Shoot the shit with us before we start recording the episode. Now would be your time. Unless you want to wait and call in to talk about our God-given Second Amendment, right? It's up to you. Numbers at the top of your screen. Wranglers, $30. Wranglers don't fit right on me. I'm fat.
Yeah, those are cowboy jeans. They're made for skinny people.
Yeah, I'm fat. They don't.
He needs some apple bottom jeans.
Apple bottom
big
jeans.
old booty. Mm-hmm. Brandy said she's gonna share this shit out of the live. Do it. I like it. We got a new follower, Steve Dave.
That sounds like a fake made up name.
Steve Dave?
Yeah.
Double first named.
Do that. What movie is it from? He's like, listen here, Steve Dave. Oh, that's freaking Mallrats. Tell him, Steve Dave.
I don't remember that crap. That was too long.
When Brody starts getting, I love Mallrats, by the way.
Obviously.
But Brody starts acting a fool when he finds out that Stan Lee's inside the comic book store. And they're like, you got to settle down if you want to get in there. And the guy was like, you tell him, Steve Dave. Shut up, Mick.
I'm sorry.
Mick the Dick.
Mr. RJ, we are not like the Swamp People. Oh my God, I fucking hate when people mention that show. We're not like that. They're not even really like that. Like, I've met Troy Landry. He's like, he talks like that, but he's really not like that.
That's what I've always said, man. I've gone beyond as far as I can, trying to let people know that Swamp People is not how majority of your people from Louisiana are. You know,
it's really
and then
not.
they make the show.
Yeah.
So when we actually start recording, are we going to stay live?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it's about time.
A few seconds of quiet, hit record, and then a few seconds of quiet. And hello and welcome to another edition of The Question Everything, guys, with your host, Sean.
The Mick.
Simplify Rob.
Today we're going to be doing an episode on evolution. What are we calling this episode?
You can call it whatever you
I
want.
want to call it the evolution of the pew pew.
That's
What's
right.
What's a pew pew?
That's what they sound when they go bang. They go pew pew.
So they're laser blasters?
We're going to be talking about guns, though. And guns.
I just want to say that is the unmanliest way to call it a gun. A pew pew.
It's a pew pew, man. No, man, but guns have fascinated me my whole life, and I grew up around them. So they were always something that we did. We always went go shooting, and hunting. We always went hunting, and I thought it would be pretty cool to kind of talk about them, talk about where they started, how they began, where we're at today, and what we think is going to be the future of them.
So
Okay.
is this going to only be about guns, or will it be about weapons?
Weapons in general, but
with the main focus on guns.
main focus on guns.
Got you. Let's break down a little history. I got Wikipedia pulled up inside the studio.
Well, a little history of it. Before we talk about guns, we got to talk about the evolution of how they became
weapons. Okay. Well, let's talk about the very first weapon that was used when Cain killed Abel.
Well, we can talk about that. We can talk about, rocks. You got rocks, you got spears, you got bow and arrows, right?
Slings.
Yeah. Yep, they had slings. So our slingshot, if you want to call it that. But swords, you have swords.
Bronze Age.
Yeah. Or what's the tridents? They had tridents.
I mean, you can kind of stick to projectile weapons since that's kind of what we're getting at mostly. Is
right.
The first projectile would have been a rock, and then let's make that rock go faster and use a sling.
Right.
Well, you got to think like cavemen, right?
Yeah.
Before they even used a rock, they used their fists.
Well, there has been scientifics behind one of the very first arrowheads ever found was made out of stone, 20,000 BC.
Yeah, the bow and arrow have been around a extremely long time.
Yeah, I mean, they were sticking them on the end of spears before they went on to bows.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, because somebody was like, "Hey, I need to make this go a distance."
Right.
So
that and the spear gives the arrowhead extra mass so that when it hits, it continues to penetrate and not just stop. Because if you throw a rock at something,
it just hurts for a little
bounce off of them.
Right. And then you got to talk about a wound. You can sharpen a stick, but you're only going to make a little hole.
Well, how did we go from a spear to this bad boy?
It's an evolution of mostly people figuring out what works and what don't.
Yeah.
And taking into account of inventions, like you couldn't have a gun if they didn't invent gunpowder, and before it was called gunpowder, it was black powder, and the Chinese made that. I want to say the 9th century AD.
Close. 1100s.
Okay, so 1100s.
10th century.
So let's do it like this. Let's say they never made that. We wouldn't have guns.
Well, we probably would. They'd be a little bit slower.
But that was a start of it. And I want to say bombs, explosives, were before they actually decided, I can stuff this in a cannon and shoot a projectile.
Right.
out.
Well, they had fireworks. You're right. You're absolutely right.
So then that came about as basically spears with little bitty cannons on the end of them. They stuffed them with the black powder, put projectiles in them, and that was essentially your first gun.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about what the purpose of a weapon is, and anything you can do to give a projectile more energy or make the projectile bigger is going to impart more energy on the target. You're going to improve the effectiveness of that weapon.
Right.
So naturally, people who design weapons are going to say, well, how can I make this more effective? It can give it either more power or less power, but make the projectile bigger, and it's a closer range weapon that's going to be devastating.
Right.
Or better ways to penetrate. You know, sharper points.
Yep.
Or am I going to have one projectile coming out or a bunch?
30.
Yeah. Am I trying to kill a bunch of people at one time with a claymore mine, or am I trying to target someone that's a mile away?
Right. And the technology, however you use it, you said fireworks. How you use what you're like with gunpowder, you can use it for fireworks and it's all pretty and everything. Or you can use it in a weapon to kill. So it's however you want to use that technology. But with our going on our guns, I've always been fascinated with them, mostly with military. I love military weapons, watching those old shows, seeing the different militaries around the world, what they used. World War II was probably huge in the development from your bolt actions, things like that,
to your semi-automatics,
and then your fully automatics.
Right.
So
your pew goes to pew pew.
Pew pew goes to
goes
pew 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 pew.
When was the first Gatling gun made?
We're gonna get into that in the.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious because that thing pewed a lot.
Yeah.
But see, that was hand cranked.
It did really long time ago too.
That was hand cranked, and then you got to talk about what kind of ammunition.
Well, let's talk about the very first weapon. Let's start off with what would you say
the very
would be
first firearm?
No, the very first weapon.
Okay.
No, the very first weapon was just a man in his fists, and then he probably got beatings like, how can I get the upper hand next time?
You can put a rock in my fist.
I'm grabbing a rock or I'm grabbing a club.
Well, the very first murder that according to history, was when Cain killed Abel.
If you want to go with that, yeah.
Okay, so let's go with that.
Okay.
Cain killed Abel with a rock. But I didn't even think about your fist. I didn't even think about that being the first weapon.
That would have to be.
I mean, you can beat people to death with your fists. So
you got to think. The only reason technology gets any traction to make anything better and improve is because you want to gain the upper hand in an area. If there is no reason to have an upper hand or to make something easier, why invent?
That's very true.
So that's where it all that's where it came from. And so if we're going to talk about the first weapon, you talk about your fist, goes to clubs, stones.
Well, I would say it would go just to a stone or a rock before a club, right? Would you guys agree?
Yeah. I mean, it depends what you're trying to do with it. Just like today. I mean, you're not gonna take a knife to a gunfight.
Well, I figure like Mick was saying, it would go from your fist to something harder, a stone, a rock. Okay, and then so you want a little bit more length, a little bit more reach. So then you would a club.
Yeah, I think it was Mitch Hedberg had a joke. It was like the guy that invented the arrow was like, I want to stab that guy, but he's way over there. So I'm gonna put a knife on the end of an arrow and stab him from far away.
But it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we go after a rock? Or we established fist, rock. Where would we go next?
I would say spear.
I'd
say spear.
Or a sling, if you want to get really, because you want to speed that rock up. You can only throw it so fast.
The only reason to say spear is because you don't have to have a lot of training with a spear.
Well, I don't know, dude. I mean, I can go out there and throw a spear. You could stand 10 feet, and I'm probably not going to hit you.
You would have to. I mean, that takes a little time to practice.
It wouldn't be. To me, it would make more sense that a sling would come before a spear, because you actually have to have the knowledge to shape an arrowhead before you can just take a rock and put it in a piece of cloth.
Well, technically, you don't have to have all you have to have is a sharp point.
One of our viewers mentioned before you got to spear. Well, on a spear, he did say a sharpened stick.
That's correct.
Yeah, and then then they added the stone to the stick and they sharpened it.
Right, because they found out, guess what? I can do more damage. I can create a bigger wound.
Yep, more mass.
Right, with something on the tip of this.
Yep, so we go from spear, and spear's probably going to be there for quite some time. And then the bow and arrow was invented in Asia.
From what I've read, the spear first appeared in 100,000 BC. From 100,000 BC to 20,000 BC, it was the most dominant weapon. And then 20,000 BC rolled around, then you get your bow and arrow.
Yeah, and to say where the first bow and arrow originated, it's hard to do.
Because, they were made out of wood.
Because when we talk about that long ago, the concentration of people were still in the Asia part of the world. We're still expanding out.
So you think the world started like in Asia? I was going to say the Middle East.
Well, that's what right there, yeah.
Okay.
RJ just mentioned that ladle, the stick that's got a stick on it to fling spears or short. Yeah, that thing's badass.
And boomerangs.
Have you guys watched America's Top Shot?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They fired
that.
Yes, yeah. Dude. I was like, oh my goodness, they're not going to be that accurate with it. And then they did it, and these guys have never seen this.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty deadly with it.
Yeah.
It was very efficient.
I want to say even the yo-yo was originally a weapon.
I think you're right. I did read that before.
That's news to me.
Okay, so we're to bow and arrow now.
Mm-hmm.
What comes after bow and arrow?
Well, bow and arrow. Well, first off, then you have your people start getting good with metal. Now we can start making
not
stuff.
Quite.
Well, better, because we're getting into like the I guess
how
you could say
against
the Bronze Age, right?
Yeah, armor.
So now your weapon development gets to the point where now you got to bypass armor.
Yeah, now you need stronger melee weapons to get past armor.
Right. So now comes your stronger swords,
big ass maces, and
yeah.
And then you get the longbow, which was basically just a upgraded, larger version of a short bow that was made to
more deadly, more
reach
accurate.
higher feet per second of bow.
So you get a faster arrow.
You could fire a larger arrow at
Correct.
faster speeds with a heavier head that would penetrate
deeper
plate armor.
Right.
Plate armor, short bows were ineffective against, but a long bow, your bow was as tall as a man, and you could draw that thing back.
Oh yeah.
Get a lot
Did
more
you guys
power.
hear about the Viking skull that was recently found within the last couple years? He had
That's right.
a metal helmet on his head, and there was an arrow through the metal helmet attached to it. Like that's how he died. He got shot in the head.
Yeah, because everybody thinks, oh, you got to get that arrow to go through. You just really need to get
the tip,
a certain amount of that tip in there, and hit a vital organ, and you're done. Yeah.
RJ is bringing in siege weaponry and the trebuchet, and
correct. That's taking that sling idea to a larger scale.
Yeah, right. Getting into the artillery, field artillery, basically.
Right.
How to kill people on a huge scale.
Right. It's or knock down defensive.
Yeah.
We're talking about people wearing armor.
Right.
Well, okay. What about trying to get through walls that are protecting people?
Trebuchet.
Boom.
Battering rams.
Or we'll just do like the Democrats and bring in a wooden horse, Trojan horse.
Oh, the Trojans start. Well, actually, it was the Spartans that started that.
That would be more of a psychological warfare there, man.
Mick knows all about just the tip.
I was about to say that. I'm cutting this part out. But
Michael Kramer.
Oh, wow. You know Michael Kramer, huh?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, good guy.
So we got field artillery, we got longbows, we got the evolution of melee weapons, and then that's medieval times. I mean, Spartans, they used even during the Bronze Age, they were very proficient with spears and short swords and light armor.
Then you have your
just big
crossbows.
shields.
Your crossbows start coming and you start seeing those.
Now they're actually starting to shoot projectiles.
So the crossbow is you're graduating from short bow, low feet per second, long bow, more feet per second, and then crossbow you're firing bolts that are even bigger than arrows at higher feet per second than a longbow.
Right.
So you're kind of achieving the same thing as a longbow. You might get a faster ability to fire.
Yeah.
So let's get in a little bit more recent times. I'm going to read this. This is strictly from Wikipedia. So this information, if it's not 100% correct, I do apologize, but blame Wikipedia. In China, the earliest firearm was the fire lance, a black powder-filled tube attached to the end of the spear and used as a flamethrower. Shrapnel was sometimes placed in the barrel so that it would fly out together with the flames. The earliest known depiction of gunpowder weapon is the illustration of a fire lance on a mid-10th century silk banner from some Chinese town named Dunhuang. An account of the siege of Dian in 1132 during the Jin Song Wars records that Song's forces used fire lances. So 1132.
So what I was saying is, in the 9th century you have black powder,
right?
And then it took them that much longer to realize.
You were right.
Boom. Yeah. Thank you.
So did the after the fire lance, because that was not really a projectile firing firearm. Granted, they said they put some shrapnel in it from time to time, but that's more like that
would be a shotgun,
sort of, but.
Okay.
The cannon, the first hand cannon, or the cannon, the field cannon.
You could safely say that was the first firearm.
Right.
That's where it began.
Okay.
But we also got to think of this. In China, they also already had fireworks and were shooting rockets off. They would put this stuff on an arrow and shoot this stuff. So you have your first rocket,
flaming projectile.
Yeah. Right. So now we're getting into more and more deadly stuff here. Mm-hmm. Now you got a long range arrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So getting back more into modern though, you have your flintlocks. Now they're starting to put these cannons, scaling them down, putting them on stocks that you can hold on your shoulder. Right. Pull a trigger. Get a sparks to gunpowder, and now you're shooting smaller caliber,
the older
lead.
muzzle-loaded muskets.
Correct.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
And now you see your militaries, instead of giving a couple guys these and a couple guys spears and a couple guys swords, you're seeing volleys of hundreds of soldiers shoulder to shoulder shooting at the same time.
Yep.
And you didn't really have to worry too much about accuracy because they weren't that accurate at the time. But if you have 200-300 people shooting at one time, something's going to hit something.
Right. So that's why they would have the front battle lines would be a line of shooters in the very front that would fire, and then they would take a knee and reload while the next volley was behind them. They'd place aim their rifle over their shoulder, over the shoulder of the first guys that are loading to fire another volley. And by the time they've gotten their shots in, the first volley is ready is done reloading and is ready to fire again.
Right. And once you batter your enemy down enough, and then you send the cavalry in.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can't forget about the cannons.
So
same thing, but on a way bigger scale. Right. You got your cannons, your artillery.
So would you say that the evolution of the weapon, the firearm, has shaped the way we do battle?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, that has made victors out of countries that are still in power today. You know, think about it. Why are we spending so much on our military? Because whoever has the strongest military
wins.
Yeah, it's pretty much. So going on, we got the flintlock, right? Flintlocks were around for a long time.
Right.
Long time. Now, more into the Revolutionary War, you have the same thing as flintlock, but instead of having an actual rock on it, you have percussion. So we came with percussion caps. And that simplified a lot of things. So it was the evolution of that. Now we're getting on to our modern weaponry.
Right. So you went from the percussion caps to the first cartridge, right?
Well, they're still using black powder. Remember, they're still using gunpowder, muzzle loaders,
because they were replacing the flintlock and the matchlock to a percussion cap because it was more reliable.
Right. Now you're instead of having to reload, now they're saying, hey, we can get a faster reload time.
Right.
If we don't have to hand load every cylinder, it's like the revolvers.
Yeah.
All of those are percussion cap too. We take that away. We put it all in its own little cartridge where we can just hand load that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you up your rate of fire. Now you can shoot more. Now your armies don't have to volley. They can hide behind trees. You know?
Didn't Colt invent the first
revolver? The
first cartridge fired weapon.
I want to say that is correct. What caliber it was, I'm not sure. I wish I could remember this guy's website. He's got a YouTube channel too. He goes into it's called Forgotten Weapons. But they have a lot of weapons that was way older that were using that kind of cartridge, but it never caught on because they never could get it to really work right.
Right.
So it's not that they may have invented it first, but they got it to work.
Right. They had a working patent.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we got cartridge to ammo. Now they'd introduced riflings in the barrel because they realized if you turn a bullet, it goes straighter further.
Increase the stability. Yeah.
So now you're getting into what we know now is on every one of our modern firearms.
Yeah. Now then at that point it was how to make you increase your rate of fire and increase the power without sacrificing, recoil or accuracy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, Rob did ask this question earlier, so I'm going to explain it. The first successful rapid-fire firearm is the Gatling gun, invented by Richard Jordan Gatlin and fielded by the Union forces during the American Civil War in the 1860s. So, 1860s, we started getting...
Yeah, but everybody's like, "Oh man, you just get a Gatling gun and go in there." These things had to be.
Oh,
they were heavy, man.
They were massive
in the back of
it
wagons.
took 5. Yeah, they said it took 5 people to man one.
Yeah, and then it was a process to load this thing, to get ammo for this thing.
It wasn't like freaking belt fed.
Yeah,
it was M60.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they had like actual clips, not magazines. It was clips.
It was just metal boxes.
They would take these boxes and stick them in the top. I think it was Wild Wild West. They had a Gatling gun on there that was very similar,
accurate
to the ones that were real.
Right.
Yeah.
But those. If I actually got to see one at a museum one time, and there's something, man. It's their works of art. They really are. They look beautiful. But yeah, I would say that would be one of the scariest things to see.
We gotta find somebody that owns one and be like, hey, you gotta let the QE guys come fire your Gatling gun.
Man, that's what I wanted to do. Before we did the show, I kind of wanted to go get some footage of us shooting and stuff, and I wish we could have done that.
Yeah, if we had a Gatling gun, that would have been great.
Yeah, we need a Gatling gun. Anybody got a Gatling gun?
Can the QE guys borrow your Gatling gun?
I mean, I know machinists. We can probably make one.
Yeah. I'm not going to be the one to shoot it, though. I don't know how much I'm going to trust that.
I would love to shoot one, though.
Dude, that would be
sweet.
That's like on Pawn Stars, they shot one in the desert. I was like, dude, that's pretty freaking awesome.
Was it on Pawn Stars or was it on another show? They kind of made one, but it was AK-47s. It was like 8 AK-47s that they hooked onto this rotating mount, and every time one of the AKs came down, it hit the trigger.
Yeah. That wasn't on Pawn Stars.
No, it wasn't on Pawn Stars. I can't remember what show it was. It was
if you want to do it that way,
yeah, we can do it that way.
You could easily. You wouldn't have to rotate it. You need the solenoids. You could fire all of them at the same time.
I don't know. It's just something seeing a bunch of rifles just spinning and shooting.
Yeah, that sounds dangerous.
It's therapeutic.
Well,
then you can't belt feed it anymore because you got all these magazines flipping and flopping all over the place.
Well, if you look at the newer versions of them, the miniguns.
Yeah.
You know, what's the A10? What's the one they call them, the A10 Warthog?
Oh, that's the GAU.
Yeah, look at that thing, man. Yeah,
that thing is gigantic.
So basically, they took the Gatling gun.
It's a 30 millimeter Gatling gun.
Instead of having to turn it by hand, they put a electric motor on it and belt fed it to shoot at crazy amounts of rounds per minute.
Have you ever really heard one fired? Like, there's YouTube videos.
I've heard recordings of it, and I'm pretty sure the recordings don't do it justice.
It sounds like a fart. It's that. It's like.
It's like. Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
It shakes the ground.
Really?
Yes. It's freaking loud.
I just don't ever want to be on the receiving end of it.
So we got to 1860s or 1865.
We're around 1800s now. Yeah. You know, because you got that period, that Wild West period that everybody thinks was like 100 years long, and it wasn't. But yeah, that 1850s.
Speaking of that, people don't realize that the Wild West was still considered the Wild West at the start of World War I.
Right, but we're not talking about it wasn't centuries.
Yeah,
you know?
No, it was about 60 years, 60, 70 years.
But considering you got a popular, what he was saying, you got your Smith and Wessons, your Colts, you know, your revolvers, right. You know. You have your shotguns. Your shotguns are getting popular. Crack barrels. Now they're the invention of the pump. You know, shotguns. So
they called them scattered guns back
then.
Yeah,
so everything is evolving now. All your firearms are now quickly evolving.
The street howitzer.
And so you're going with the pistols. Your pistols are faster reloading, more accurate. Your rifles. The first, I think it was 1870 or 1871, they came up with the trapdoor. It was a Springfield trapdoor. And that was the first government-issued rifle that they gave to the soldiers. That was the first rifle that, instead of having to muzzle load your weapon, you can flip open the top, take a cartridge, which was cartridge in 4570, if I remember right. You throw that sucker in there, you close the top, bang. You flip open the top of it, it ejects the shell, you put another shell in there, go again. So that was the first government issued rifle. That was the start of a long family of rifles for our military. For the American military, United States military, along with your pistols. They used revolvers for a long time until we get to 1911. Then you get your 1911. Everybody knows what the 1911 is.
Absolutely. What year was that made? Just curious.
1910.
Actually, it really probably was made in 1910 and then issued in 1911.
Well, the thing about the Browning, he made the 1911, and it was pretty much the military was still using, I want to say, a 38.
They were using revolvers. You're absolutely right.
And they wanted something with more knockdown power, so he came up with the 45 ACP.
Yeah.
So that filled that niche of having a pistol. It shot more than 6 rounds,
right,
and had more knockdown power. But they still used a 38 for a long time, for a really long time. And then you also have your 44 mag. 44 mag was real popular too. And I have a list of the 10, kind of like the 10 most popular guns that I'll go over in a little bit. But that was one of them, the 1911.
Yeah, talking about sidearms though, we haven't spoken anything at all about your force multipliers, like the Browning automatic rifle, what we have now, like with our squad automatic weapon, the SAW, the 249. So basically, like single man operated, fully automatic machine guns. One of the first ones that I can recall would be the Browning automatic rifle.
The BAR.
I'm sorry. Every time you say the SAW, I think about me and Roe playing Call of Duty. Dude, that was his gun of choice then.
The SAW's a beast, dude.
Like, we're talking like the Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3.
Yeah.
Not
the
these
Browning,
new...
the bar was a beast on the battlefield.
Yeah, it had a 20-round magazine, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
20-round magazine could be switched, I believe, between semi and full automatic. And it was something that was given to it was fire suppression.
Yeah.
It was something that they could put a quick amount of bullets down there at a quick amount of time to suppress the enemy fire, so that they can either get in there and get them or get out.
Right.
And that's the whole purpose of those.
So the purpose of those types of weapons wasn't really killing; it was cover fire.
Oh, it's it's the kill.
Well, no,
it's the kill.
I get it, but what I'm saying is those were really specialties for cover. Like,
yes.
You know.
Yeah, because I mean, it's going back to who's got the bigger gun.
What's funny is if that weapon were fielded today, and it would be belt fed, but it would be a crew served weapon. It wouldn't be a single person carrying it. They just wouldn't.
Yeah,
that thing was chambered in what, 7.62?
I think it was 308. I think it was a 308.
It was a huge round.
Well, it was single person carried even in Vietnam.
No, you're right. Yeah. But they didn't have it. They didn't use it in Vietnam. It was a World War II weapon.
Yeah.
But and a single person did carry it back then.
The Browning. I was talking about the 249. My bad.
Today, the Browning would be equivalent to the 240 Golf, the 240 machine gun, the 7.62 belt-fed machine gun that we use in the military, and that weapon has the same kind of capabilities as the 50 cal machine gun in terms of range and rounds per minute and just sheer suppressive ability.
Right.
And
then you got to look at reliability.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of automatic weapons going back from the Browning era. They had I can't remember off the top of my head, but they had the Browning automatic machine guns that basically were water cooled.
Yep. They had the water cooled barrels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but it was reliability issues. It was all reliability issues.
Yeah. The Browning M2 was the first Browning 50 cal is what the M2 was modeled after.
Mm-hmm.
The receiver was made after the first Browning machine gun.
And then once they came out with the or they called the Maul Deuce, the 50 cal. Now they're starting to implement these not for their ground troops, but now they're putting them on Jeeps.
Yep.
They're putting them in airplanes, fighter planes, bombers. They used them so widely in so many different things.
My buddy Corey, he was a crew chief, I believe, in the Marine Corps on gunships. His squadron was the test squadron for the CH-53 Super Stallion, the Echo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were actually putting the GAU 50. That's a Gatling. It's basically a 50 cal minigun.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I've watched some YouTube videos of this thing. It's like steel rain.
Yeah, I know.
Come from the sky.
It looks like a laser beam.
And what's crazy is those tracers are one every 5 rounds.
Is it 5 rounds?
And it looks like a laser beam. That means between every little dot you're seeing in the sky, there's 4 other rounds.
4 rounds.
You're not just seeing those reds are not all tracers. Like those are just there's 4 between each one.
But those are some cool videos.
Oh, dude.
Oh, they are.
Especially watching them in night vision. That's crazy. And he's back with Brewskis.
Hey, buddy.
Well, I guess I don't have to be quiet
now. He's bringing the coffee.
All right.
Thank you for the coffee. We're gonna open these all together.
Yeah, we can.
Mine's already open.
Oh.
No, your other one.
I just opened this one.
Oh, my bad.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's beautiful. That was that ASMR shit right there.
Now you gotta the next time we do that, you gotta have your beer ready.
I do. So where were we? We're talking about the larger caliber.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the larger caliber automatic. Now we're getting into the bigger calibers, the 50 caliber. They were used more widely now, not just on the battlefield by your infantry, but now you're putting them in vehicles. Now you're putting them in Jeeps. You're putting them in your fighter jets. You're putting them in bombers. Mm-hmm. You know.
Let's kind of take a step back a little bit because I feel like we're missing a large part of the weapon category, and that's in bombs. During World War I, they used to use grenadiers from airplanes. They would have guys literally hanging out of the plane and throwing grenades on the ground, but they were grenades that would go off on impact, and they usually had like a little tail fin attached to them. They were your original bomber or aircraft.
They used to practice with flour sacks.
There you go.
They would fly and drop them out of the plane to get the accuracy.
To figure out, okay, we're going this speed. To lead your target, kind of.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to look at going on to bombers that drop massive amounts of heavy bombs.
Oh yeah.
They had they had computers basically in there. They had scales and different things to tell distance and wind speed.
Yeah, mechanical computers.
Yeah, all working on the altitudes they were at. In World War I, they didn't have that. They had a guy on the back of the plane with a bomb in his hand.
Hey, Jim, throw that thing on the ground, man. Let's get out of here. They're shooting at us.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then World War II, you had your high-level bombers, and they would drop huge amounts of munitions that were just high explosive. They didn't really have the kind of high-tech bombs we have today that are laser guided or even satellite guided now. I mean,
everything's got a GPS system in it.
So they would just carpet bomb whole areas of population, just because, hey, there's a target right there, but we can't hit just that. So here, let's just bomb all of it.
Well, let's think of this. It's when we were talking about the evolution and the way that things progressively get better. Just like bombs, let's look at the firearms. Volleys of men shooting volleys of rounds at the enemy. All goes down to now snipers that can take out a single person from thousands of yards away. Same with bombs. You didn't have to drop 80,000 pounds of bombs to hit your target. Now we can, a 17-year-old kid can take control of a drone from halfway around the world and precision strike shoot a missile and kill somebody on the other side of the world.
Yep.
In his living room.
Or strafing with napalm in the Vietnam era, dude. That shit was crazy.
I heard napalm was probably one of the cruelest weapons ever used.
Yeah, napalm had to have been, because it would stick to you.
Yeah.
And you can't get it off. Whatever it touches, whatever you touch with it, it turns into fire.
And it didn't guarantee it killed you.
Yeah.
So now you have to live your rest of your life messed up.
And see, on the question, everything, guys, we do not completely agree on everything. If you're going to war, you're at war, there are no rules. You want to be the victor.
Well, no, there are rules.
There are rules. There
shouldn't be rules.
Here's the thing.
No,
there are
there
rules.
has to be rules.
There's rules. They're just not followed by the people that are losing.
The Geneva Convention is the rules for...
Well, people still use mustard gas. That's against the rules. People still do stuff that they're not supposed to do. So it's all is fair in love and war.
Well, I tell you, when it comes to rules,
use that argument whenever you go to war,
right?
And get tried for war crimes.
Yeah,
and see how that works.
Once again, they only matter to the people that are winning.
Yeah, or the people that those rules. I mean, we usually go to war, and we have rules of engagement. We have the things we have to do as a country. That the enemy may not be playing by the same rules, and they can do the shit they want to do. I get where Sean's going with it, but
Right.
ultimately, it's our responsibility as we're going to be the victors regardless.
We're gonna be better.
Right. We gotta uphold a different standard.
Okay.
Yeah,
So.
and a lot of the rules.
And I only say that because I'm sorry, Mick. I don't.
No,
mean
it's
to
okay. Go ahead.
I remember a conversation that Rob and I had. You were under fire. I'm not going to say where. I'm not going to give too many details. But you had to wait on the okay to return fire.
Yeah, and I wasn't under fire. I was I'm trying to think of what you're talking about, but I was requesting permission to engage a target that I couldn't engage because it was a tribal matter that I couldn't interfere with. Is that the same thing you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was not under fire.
Oh, okay.
This was a tribal matter that was happening in a village that I wasn't allowed to intervene in. So
basically, you got two people that are pissed off at each other, and it's kind of like none of your business.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story offline. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to interfere. So.
But going off of that, all these rules in war, they're made. I know, and I think it the same way too. It's like, man, what the hell, man, rules, you know? But the main reason is to cut down casualties of people that are non-combatives, the people that are just your citizens or civilians in that area.
Well, that I 100% agree with. I'm talking like Normandy Beach when D-Day happened, and you know the U.S., Canada, and the U.K. or England, not really the UK, but England stormed Normandy. Mm-hmm. The Germans were using flamethrowers. The Americans weren't, because we had, after all this happened.
Oh, we were using flamethrowers in Iwo Jima. We were using flamethrowers in the Pacific.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mainly
all
in the
during
Pacific.
World War II.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were crispy frying everybody over there.
If flamethrowers were made illegal during World War II, why the hell did we drop atom bombs on two cities?
Yeah. Yeah, so
that's like the ultimate flamethrower.
Right.
Well, they sunk a few ships, and we unleashed the power of the sun twice.
Yeah,
but once again, another weapon to talk about is the flamethrower. Matter of fact, I believe the flamethrower, you can still legally own one and not have any special license.
Elon Musk wants everybody to own one, apparently.
I mean, they're for crop control. I'm here to kill weeds.
Yeah.
But going
with my flamethrower.
But going back on the rules of war, like gas, like they have it where you're not supposed to use any kind of gas. Well, here's why. Number one, it causes it can cause long-term injuries. As in, you're a soldier on the battlefield. The enemy shoots some gas at you. It gets in your lungs, but it doesn't kill you. It takes you out, but it doesn't kill you. Now you have to live for the rest of your life with bad health issues. Second, you can't control it. The person shooting the gas at you, wind could change, and it can go right back to them. Or it can go into a village with a bunch of innocent people.
You're right.
So, like mines.
Well, I was just saying, because especially, in Iraq and Afghanistan, people were fighting from tunnels and caves and stuff. Do you honestly think they're thinking about the rules when we're over there?
No, and that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that I'm for, let's go kill everybody and, be done. No, that's not what I'm just saying. Why should we have a set standard of rules that we have to follow when the enemy's not going to follow them?
Well, first off, we got to say this. No enemy is going to follow a rule when they're losing. The enemy is going to do everything in their power they can to win. Or to at least call a ceasefire. At least be able to wave the white flag and maybe talk about surrender terms.
Yeah, and here's the thing: when it comes to rules, those rules only apply to people who are in the public eye, who can potentially be caught doing that kind of stuff. I mean, it shows up if you go back and look at Guantanamo Bay. Those were technically war crimes that were being committed over there with the torture and waterboarding and all that crap. Personally, torture has been used for years and years and years to extract information from people who don't want to talk. New. So, but technically torture is illegal.
It is.
Like, you can't do that.
But the lives that are saved by torture or getting information out of somebody, and But now I want to say I've heard this, and I know we're kind of going off subject here, but it's part of it. Torture, psychological.
You use weapons to torture people.
You do, but psychological torture is way more, for what I hear, because I'm not an expert in torture, but I hear instead of cutting people's freaking fingers off one by one and, you know, slapping them in the face with different crazy dumb shit, putting somebody.
Wait a second. Slapping them in the face.
Just think, man. I don't want to be slapped in the face with nothing, bro. I don't want to be slapped in the face with nothing.
I don't know why my mind went to a dirty place with that. But.
No, it's there. It's there. We're on the same page. Talk. Smack. No, it's smack. But
this guy's got a 17-inch penis, and he's going to beat you with it.
Are you going to talk yet? Yes, I'm going to tell you everything.
While we hook you up to these batteries with your nipples.
But psychological damage is really what they say is way more effective than actual physical. Like putting somebody in have you heard that? Putting somebody in an all-white room?
I do not. I know about the Chinese water torture. I know that drives people insane.
Forcing them to listen to hours upon hours of Justin Bieber.
Yeah, that would make anybody talk after a day or two.
God, get me the fuck out of here.
I'll tell you everything I know. But yeah, I thought this was an interesting torture. If tortures can be interesting, because I do find them interesting, they take prisoners, right, that they want to get information out of. They dress them in all white, like from head to toe, all white. Put them in a white room where everything is white. Light never goes off. There's no windows. You don't have any concept of time or how long you've been in there. Even to the food they eat, white rice. And days of this seems like weeks of this. People go crazy. Something simple as that. You would think, I'd be fine. I'd be fine in this white room, chilling out.
Sleep deprivation is a
you
real
don't let them
torture.
sleep.
Oh yeah.
Oh dude.
That was huge in World War II.
That was huge in Iraq.
In the concentration camp. Well, Joseph Mendeleev, like he was a crooked man. He would lock these Jewish people in concentration camp in these special chambers, and he would not let them sleep, and he wouldn't let them eat.
Oh, the Germans do. The Germans had some of the craziest doctors that would do the craziest messed up experiments on prisoners.
Yeah. So let's get back on weapons real quick.
But okay.
So we were kind of getting into bombs a little bit, and the napalm, and then the atom bomb, the Manhattan Project. We used German scientists,
absolutely,
to develop the Manhattan Project.
And the head guy, actually, he said it was the biggest mistake of his life, was giving the technology to do that.
Well, no, I don't know, though. So that you're talking about Werner von Braun, who developed the V2 rocket that
delivered it.
So he didn't actually develop the rocket. A rocket didn't drop the bombs on Hiroshima or Nagasaki. That was dropped from a plane. That was a literal bomb.
General Doolittle, right?
So those bombs were not carried by a rocket. They were carried by an airplane.
No, you're talking about the Enola Gay.
Right.
Enola Gay was the one that dropped the bombs.
Well, no, it was General Doolittle's men.
Oh, yeah.
But
he was in charge.
I'm sorry.
What Werner von Braun is talking about is his rockets were meant to carry man into space, not to be used for the things that they were developed for. But I want to say it was man, I wish I knew the names of the scientists that were on the Manhattan Project. But a lot of that, all the uranium that was and the plutonium that was refined for the Manhattan Project was done in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And I went to school in Oak Ridge when I was in 4th grade. I actually lived up there near Oliver Springs with my dad when we moved to Tennessee for a short period of time in my childhood. And I didn't know anything about Oak Ridge until I got older and started learning about it in high school. But yeah, they started really learning, like they started really teaching us a lot about the stuff that went on during World War II so they could develop these technologies. And man,
you're actually right. Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Los Alamos, Chicago, and Hanford.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if it was von Braun that said this or another one. I can't remember. But what we were talking about a while ago, as in everything that went into making the atom bombs, that technology.
It wasn't von Braun that said that. It was Robert Oppenheimer. he did say creating that technology was the biggest mistake of his life.
Right, Oppenheimer, and that's what RJ just said. Oppenheimer was one of the guys that developed the bomb.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. He was
but
the
Von
one.
Braun actually said that about his V2 rockets.
Okay.
But one of them I want to say said that also that what they made can either be a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on who's controlling it.
Yeah,
whose hands that power that same power can supply power to a whole country or blow the shit out of Japan.
Oh my god, dude, you got fucking green glitter in your beard.
I got glitter. I've been trying to get this glitter out of my face.
I just noticed it, like you're sparkling
all day, man. I can't.
I looked over and you're talking, and all of a sudden, sparkling.
It's hard to take me seriously at that.
You turned into fucking one of the vampires from what is that? Twilight. Twilight.
Sparkly.
I have never seen them.
Sparkle.
And I don't intend to.
All right, back to the.
But
hold on. All right, go back.
But yeah, technology, man. The benefits, if you used it for the correct methods, could grossly outweigh the destruction they do. I mean, if you look at fusion power and fission power, those were technologies that have been being developed since the 30s. And fission naturally took off first because it releases a great deal of energy rapidly and can destroy entire cities. And then fusion, which is what happens in our sun, releases it slowly. Not so great for a bomb. So
a slow bomb.
Yeah.
A very, very slow hot bomb.
It's a slow burn.
So if you think about it in terms of how great it would be to have those technologies for energy production, fission is what we use in like the Fukushima power plant. Any nuclear power plant uses fission. And all that is you let you control radioactive decay so that it gets hot and you keep it cool enough while you're heating up water to create steam to turn turbines to create mechanical energy. So really you're just letting radioactive material decay under a controlled environment.
Right.
And that's all you're doing.
Well, let's get on to modern day weapons.
Well, I kind of want to go over a list real quick.
Of course.
Sweet.
And this list is kind of the and we talked about a couple of these already, but these are kind of like a list of the iconic weapons throughout history. The kind of like the best of the best in their categories.
The Tommy gun.
But I don't agree with all of these only because of that's the hard thing. Is saying, man, what was the best gun? It's everybody has their personal favorite, you know.
And I would say the 1911 is the most iconic.
But here we go. Let me start, and I'm gonna go to each one. And if y'all want to stop and comment,
can we kind of, is this a list like a top 10?
Top 10.
Okay, so we're gonna, is the Tommy gun on the list?
No.
Is the 1911 on the list?
Yes.
Okay. Is the M1 Garand on the list?
No.
Really?
The M16 is probably on there.
No.
What?
Wow. All right, let's hear this list.
Okay.
I wanted to see if we could get guess the list. So go.
10. MG42.
I don't even know what that one is.
MG42 is a German machine gun that
is it called the grease gun?
They call it the buzzsaw.
I know what you're talking about.
It shot like 1,200 rounds a minute.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
That's the one that they used in the bunkers.
This is in World War II.
Yeah.
This thing was crazy. Matter of fact, they not only had to change the ammunition belts, but also the barrels, because the barrels would literally melt and droop.
Melting.
Yeah. So now we're getting machine guns, crazy rates of fire. Okay, number 9. One I'm not a fan of.
Hold on. Let's give full credit to this site that you're getting this top 10 list.
Oh, okay. This one is Listverse.
Listverse.
And I'm not using this one particularly because I like Listverse. This is the last one I went to because I've seen the lists and they're all the same. Then I start reading them and I kind of got where they're going with it.
Okay.
And I agree with it to a certain degree. But number 9, Glock handgun.
What?
And this is why. And I get this. Glock was the first one to actually make the plastic gun.
Yeah, the composite.
The composite plastics.
Yeah.
And I get it. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a Glock boy. But or what they call that, a Glock fanboy or whatever they call it. Yeah. Because there's just so many pistols out there. But anyway, that all our law enforcement uses Glock.
Springfield XD.
You know,
baby.
so that was number 9. Number 8, one that I agree with, is a 303 Lee Enfield.
Yep.
303 Lee Enfield, another World War.
That's 1, right?
No, that was World War II. I think it was. Could be 1.
When does it have a year?
I think it was the end of 1.
Okay, yeah. That's the one they used to issue the Marines.
No. That was World War I, 1895.
I thought so.
And they used it until 1957.
Yeah.
So they used it a lot. That was the one that had the mad. They called it the mad minute, where you shot
it was bolt
30
action.
rounds in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
In a bolt action.
Yeah, they would have their finger fixed for where the trigger's going to be, and they would click.
Yeah. And you got a bunch of guys doing that.
Good luck.
You know,
they would dry fire it like that to practice getting their finger where it's supposed to be.
And in open sights, it was accurate up to 1,000 yards without optics. Yeah. This is before optics became popular and men were men and shot shit.
Yeah, before we got red dots.
Without using red dots.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 7.
Or ACOG.
The 50 caliber M2HB, the Ma Deuce. Okay, that was the one we were talking about. That was widely used.
Number 6.
Number 6, Smith & Wesson model 2944 Magnum revolver. Dirty Harry.
Yeah. Most powerful handgun
in the world. All right, next one, the Mauser model 1893 bolt action. That was Germany's equivalent to the Enfield, I would say. Colt single action army revolver. That's your classic cowboy gun.
Right.
You know, if that's what what they say. Well, won the West. That was the revolver. That was the pistol. One of my favorites, the Henry repeating rifle. Now we're getting something lever that we haven't talked a lot about. Lever actions. Smith & Wesson, Winchester. Winchester had theirs are popular lever actions, 30 calibers, the various calibers. All of these weapons, besides specifically the rifle that I'm talking about, are the 50 caliber or the 303 Enfield. They can come in different calibers. They're not to one caliber.
Yeah, because I know that Winchester makes 30-06. That's
right. Now the Henry repeating rifle was mostly chambered in 44 caliber, but whatever.
Do you remember the show The Rifleman?
Dude, you're old.
I think I do. I watched that show
relatively recently.
You're still old.
That is such a good show, though. The Rifleman.
Okay, number 2.
Bonanza.
Another one, and I was hoping that the AR platform rifle M4 something would be on here, but it wasn't. This was. But I get it. The AK-47.
Yep. The Kalashnikov.
Yeah, I mean that shaped Russia, man.
That shaped most of the European and Asian countries, because those things were made on such a huge scale that everybody had them, and they were made. They were so easily to duplicate. And
they were reliable.
Yes.
I mean, you could bury one, dig it up next week, and it still works.
Yeah.
You know.
So I would.
I get it.
I would agree. With
I
that
get
one.
it. But
what number was that?
That was number 2.
And number 1.
That was 2. Number 1, Colt 1911.
Dude, that gun, like that handgun, it changed modern handguns today completely.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with number 1.
But
Colt was on the forefront of a lot of technology whenever they were releasing their weapons.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But talking about the 1911, that wasn't Browning's baby. His baby was the high power, and that never caught on. That's not the popular pistol as in 1911, but because of simple thing, you have all these war guys in World War II that had them as sidearms, and they come back and guess what they want? They want their 1911.
Absolutely.
You know, they don't want the high.
I know this is kind of similar on topic and kind of off a little bit. Have you guys seen Kimber's version of the 1911? Have you heard of Kimber?
I've seen a lot of versions.
Dude, Kimber. God, I wish they would sponsor us because I would feel a lot better about saying this. But Kimber makes amazing firearms.
They make expensive firearms,
but they're great.
They're very
once again, that's opinion. Once again, I'm not saying that they don't.
My personal favorite, the handgun. Like, if I could go into any store and buy any pistol, it would be Israeli Weapon Industries, IWI. It would be called it's called the Jericho. It's the baby 1911. Mm-hmm. That thing or the baby Desert Eagle. I'm sorry. That thing is amazing.
Because
I've fired it.
And when it comes to firearms, here's the thing, and I didn't want to cut you off,
Go ahead.
but this is the only thing I'm saying. You can go buy you a $1,200 to $2,500 pistol.
Well, this thing's like $500-$600.
I can go and buy a $150 to $250 pistol.
Taurus.
And it does the same damn thing. It can be just as reliable.
The High Point.
Yeah, the High Point.
Dude, okay, talking about the High Point pistol, everybody gives it a bad name, man. And I personally wouldn't want one, but I can't really say anything bad about it. It's ugly as shit.
I've owned one, and they're crap.
It's ugly as shit, but
it probably had a 60% chance of actually firing when I owned mine.
Every person ever seen fire one loves it.
I mean, it's a $99, 9mm.
I mean, I could see buying one, throwing it in your truck, and it's there if you need it.
I would just hate to need it and be like, click, fuck, and then get killed.
Yeah, well, that's with anything.
Yeah. So I would rather have something that go, click, and it goes boom and blows their face off.
Right.
So yeah, no to High Point.
Well, okay. Well, let's get on to future weapons.
So where do y'all think it's going from here?
Energy weapons.
That's the IWI. That bitch is bad.
Is it 50?
No, that's a 40. You can get it 940, 45. You can get it in polymer or steel.
Really?
Really.
That's pretty cool. I like that option.
The Tavor, remember the Tavor? Mm-hmm. That's who makes it.
Really?
Really.
That's right, IWI, yeah.
Okay, back on.
Okay.
So future weapons, where do you see future weapons going?
I see a lot of the what do they call that, electromagnetic
the railgun?
Yes. I see that making a big. I think didn't they already fit that on a ship?
They were trying. One of our Facebook Live viewers actually mentioned something that was in the past, but but he mentioned something that was in the past, but it is extremely futuristic. Tesla's death beam. Have you ever heard of that?
Well,
I have.
Well, we're going on to lasers.
Right.
So,
well, the death beam wasn't even a laser.
Well,
it was a sound.
Right, but it's still the concept of shooting sonic waves to something. You. Yeah, and I see that, but now lasers are playing a big part in military.
Laser sights. I understand.
No, they actually have lasers, pinpoint lasers. They can shoot and burn shit from long, far away.
Oh yeah,
really,
very powerful.
They have missile defenses that use that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can burn a missile out of the sky. I don't think the technology is to where we can just totally depend on it, but it's up and coming.
So, you guys think personally, in your personal opinion, Simplify, Rob, and the Mick, that we're going to be running around with as stormtroopers going pew pew pew?
No.
No, the energy requirements to make that happen are unachievable at this time.
Run around with blasters.
You would need to carry a battery pack the size of like
a car.
Yeah.
And
then you might get like 40 shots out of it.
I do see us getting away from explosive type rounds that actually causes an explosion to shoot something, into caseless rounds, or more of a like the railgun you were talking about.
Yeah,
more on that.
Propulsion.
As soon as batteries and energy and we can grasp a hand on that and put that in a small package, and it can shoot a projectile, which they already have models that can shoot something at 12 to 13 to 2,500 feet per second rapidly. Yeah, that's going to be the next. That's going to be the next weapons.
So I'll tell you what's going to drive the next. What's going to drive the next evolution of weapons, and it's going to be whenever the next major energy device is created. Because everything that's happened in terms of energy that has always made a jump in the evolution of weapons. Gunpowder.
I mean, wars essentially.
Yeah. So once fusion, because they're on the cusp of a breakthrough with fusion power. You know, they're the tokamak generators that are being built in Japan and the United States. They're on the verge of actually being able to produce a usable amount of power, more than they're actually using to run them. So once these things and these technologies start to gain some traction and become usable, that's gonna drive the next evolution of weapons, because you need substantial power generation to be able to create weapons that use a lot of power.
And right now, I see a lot of the gun makers. They're making a lot of money right now, not just on initial sale of guns. They're making a boatload on customization.
Oh yeah.
Customizing your firearm today is probably a more big of a business than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Because everybody, buy a AR, an AR platform weapon of any. They have shotguns now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could put anything you want on it. Make it your own. You can get them in different colors, different flavors.
Wow, they come in different flavors?
Dude.
Can I get a Jolly Rancher one?
Then they have attachments. We haven't even talked about attachments yet. So, mount a shotgun under there, or whatever you want.
Is that a real thing? Can you really mount a shotgun attachment underneath the AR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I want one of those.
And guess what? Look at the variety of ammunition you get with a shotgun.
They call it a master key.
Yeah,
I know they do in Call of Duty, but I didn't know that's a real thing.
Yeah, they do it. They call that in real life too, a master key.
Wow.
Because they use it for breaching.
I'm gonna breach somebody. Let them break it.
They use it for breaching doors and shit.
Dude, I'm gonna get one and I'm gonna post on Facebook. Somebody please break into my house.
I want to shoot somebody. You ever seen that Fire's Breath or Dragon's
Breath? Yes.
I've always wanted to play with that.
Dude, FPS.
I'd probably get in trouble, but I want to play with it.
Well, in closing, so in the U.S. we have laws. We have a document that protects let me start over. In the U.S., we have a document that protects us with our owning of weapons. Anybody know what that is?
Oh, you're talking about the Second Amendment.
The what?
Second Amendment.
Can you say that a little bit louder?
Second Amendment.
Yes. That is actually being infringed upon in the state of Virginia right now.
It is. It's sad.
What's your guys' opinion on that?
They better be careful of what they do on both sides, because I see it going this way. We are a gun loving nation, and right now there is a war. There is a war between people who want to take our guns and us who don't want to give it to them. And right now it's just going to take the wrong stream of circumstances to get something really bad.
Well, I saw that recently, and I'm gonna say this. There was an ad looking to hire crisis actors in the state of Virginia, and one of the main things that they were saying that you're gonna have to wear Trump gear, Second Amendment gear, and MAGA hats. So what does that tell me?
Well, this is what they want to happen. Okay, let's cut through the bullshit. They want to bring in they want to bring in the National Guard, right?
Right.
They want to get somebody to the point to where they start firing. We're kind of in a situation who's going to fire first, and they're not going to have to worry about crisis actors after that, because you're actually going to get real crisis and dead people. Well, we're talking about people that are going to be dead.
You got guys like Rob, and I'm sure you would, and me. Me and Rob have already talked about it. If shit pops off over there, we're going up there.
Well, here's the thing. You got that to look too. Virginia, now you got all these other states going, no, fuck that. And now everybody's traveling to the central location. That's what they want to happen. They are not stupid. That's what they want to happen. What we need to not do is jump. This isn't a pun, but jump the gun. Okay, everybody chill the fuck out. Everybody just chill the fuck out. Be smart about it. Protect yourself, but be smart about it.
Absolutely.
Because once a war gets started, guess what? You can't just stop it.
Right, until somebody forfeits.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Who do you think is going to win a war with guns or flaming vegan dildos?
Well, it's not going to be a war between us and them. It's going to be a war between us and our own government.
Yeah, and that's not a war we want.
No.
Absolutely right, Mr. RJ Chess Moves. For those of you that do not know that listen to this podcast on any podcast hosting platform, you can also follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the QE guys. Every episode that we will record is every weekend. We also go live. We give extra content on the live. We'll sit and talk about current events and things like that. If that is something that interests you, give us a like, give us a subscribe, rate us, share us with your family and your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. While we're talking about it, I want to give a shout out to one of our podcasters, Bigfoot for Breakfast.
Absolutely. Love Bigfoot for Breakfast.
Absolutely. Great
What's their show about?
Great show. What is their show about this week?
I don't know this week, but overall, what is their show about?
Oh, it's aliens, supernatural, Stonehenge.
Mystery, stuff like that. And it's fact-based. It's not opinion-based.
Yeah, it's a fact-based show. It's really cool, really awesome. Love it.
Also, someone that I want to give a shout-out to that is also part of the Attitude Podcast Network, MWP Podcast. They can be found on Facebook as well, or anywhere that you listen to podcasts. They are... MWP, it literally stands for Music, Wrestling, and Politics. Each one of their episodes, they break down some music, some wrestling, and politics.
And they're really great guys.
Yeah, great show.
Really awesome people.
Funny guys. I love their show.
Me too.
They're really blunt. Great guys. And the Kensington Corner. The Kensington Corner is ran by a U.S. veteran and another guy. I don't know much. I know a little bit about Tom. I don't know much about Jeff, but I love their show. You got Rob. You would definitely love their show. They actually just mentioned a project that they have going on for U.S. veterans. It's called the Headstone Project. So checking in those guys. Give them a listen. Give them a rate, a review. Check them out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to touch off on what RJ said about chess moves, and this pertains to what Sean mentioned about the ad for crisis actors. Okay, false flag attacks have been a tactic of governments and even people who are not like gangs and shit even do it. False flags. I mean, you've watched Sons of Anarchy, right? This stuff that actually really happens to incite a conflict between two factions. Okay, but you can also claim a false flag and not do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To make it seem like you're trying to heighten tensions that aren't really there. Granted, there are tensions there. And so it can kind of go both ways. It seems to me like it is a chess match.
Very much of a chess match. And a very dangerous chess match.
The fact that the governor of a state that is in the union that is protected by the Second Amendment is trying to confiscate weapons from their people. That is just just bad, dude.
Right.
That's just bad business. It's bad policy. You're really, at the very least, you're ensuring that you won't get elected next year,
right,
or next election.
It's a dumb move. Yeah, it's a dumb move on his part, and all these people that are backing him, going, oh yeah, nobody needs guns. All these gun haters, they're next. Because here's the deal: once you get, let's just say hypothetically, they do have all the guns. What do you think they're taking all of our guns, man? Why? Because they have an agenda, and they want to take the rest of your rights.
Yeah,
that's why. So you can be on that bandwagon.
That's definitely the first. That's the first right that has to go is your right to bear arms. And once that's gone, then there's no
the rest of them.
Yeah, there's nothing else stopping them from taking everything away from you.
The entire Constitution.
And you'll get these left wings that are. Oh, the government isn't going to hurt us. They don't want to hurt us. They need us. We need them. It's a symbiotic relationship. No, that ain't truth. As soon as you lose the right to defend yourself, your ability to defend yourself, power begets power. People who have power always crave more power, and you're not. Once you take away the ability to control that power, it runs rampant.
Well, we're going to end this show right here. For our Facebook Live, will we stay live a little bit longer to interact with the audience, or do you want to cut it? Or
I say we cut it because I've got to get on rolling.
Okay, well, give me a second.
Just keep rolling, baby.
So from all of us at the Question Everything guys, we thank you for tuning into this episode. So this is your host, Sean.
The Mick.
Simplify Rob.
RJ, that really is a good idea. False flags. That sounds like a great episode.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them, and not all pertaining to the Second Amendment though.
Yeah.
But the majority you see of them, that's why. Okay, Sandy Hook happened, but you know what? When it happened, I was one of the people like, I bet that's all bullshit and they're making that up.
I've looked into it, dude. I'm not gonna say it's a false flag. Like, I think it really happened, but I believe the U.S. Like, dude, there's evidence that Russia literally told the FBI these guys are gonna do something. They're terrorists. Talking about the two brothers, and the FBI completely ignored them.
But that's what I'm saying. Dude.
I mean, the same thing happened for 9/11.
Dude, when I don't believe a story like that, that tells you one thing. I feel like I've been lied to, and I don't believe your news source anymore.
Absolutely.
And dude, when it gets to that, that's bad. It's bad when I don't believe a whole bunch of little kids got killed.
That is bad.
That's bad.
And that's how shitty our media is, dude.
So that just goes to tell you something.
Well,
why is Facebook a more accurate and reliable news source than the news?
It's because you get it instantly from somebody, but unless you're a shit poster.
That's the all still version, dude. That bitch
is nice. That is nice.
You can get them online for like $5.50.
That's not bad.
And you can get the 90, the 40, or the 45.
Kind of has a Desert Eagle-ish.
It's called the Baby Desert Eagle.
Yeah. I got to shoot a Desert Eagle one time.
Like, I've personally fired two of these bitches. I've shot a 40 and a 45.
Oh, dude, I thought I was in so much trouble. I went out Old Camp Road. Do you know where Old Camp Road is?
Old Camp Road.
Well, thank you guys for tuning into our live. We will be back next week. We're going to end this here. Also,
I'm dead sexy.
We will see you guys next week.
Shut the fuck up, fat man.
Hey, shut your mouth. Later, guys.
Later.